didn't take long.
It did it, didn't it?
And a very warm and almost muggy good evening, everyone, and welcome to Wildcat Stadium in Cassville, Missouri. The Cassville Wildcats kicking off the 2023 season here tonight, and we're glad to be with you on the Talon Sports Network. Cassville hosting Hollister in the season opener. We've got a really nice night. Temperatures are going to be pretty warm to get things started, but we usually expect that this time of year. We're playing on a Saturday for the home opener for the Wildcats. In fact, the first time not just a home opener, but a season opener for Cassville on a Saturday. And just about every team throughout the area is going to have to deal with either a Thursday or a Saturday game this year. The shortage of officials is still impacting Southwest Missouri. So this has not been pushed to Saturday because of the weather. The heat that everyone was dealing with throughout the week has subsided just a little bit for tonight's game, but not a lot. It's still pretty warm. The humidity's still there as well. The cooler air is not supposed to come in until tomorrow, so we're just missing it by a little bit. But everyone is excited to get the football season off and running, and we are as well here on the Talon Sports Network. Glad to be with you for another season of Wildcat football here on KQMO 97.7 FM and CassvilleWebTV.com. I'm Sammy Clapper alongside Jeremy Marple, and once again this year, running the camera and the laptop on Web TV, Todd Speakman. The three amigos are back for another season and looking forward to getting the season off and running. The majority of teams opened up the 2023 campaign last night, but there are a couple of games tonight. Cassville here hosting Hollister. Springfield Central is at Clever tonight as the Blue Jays opening up their season. And, of course, already next week we got Thursday night games, one of them here on the Talon Network, Monad at Mount Vernon. Clever's actually got a Thursday night game. They can start out the season Saturday, Thursday, so that shows you the impact of the shortage of officials is having on high school football. It's something everyone's got to deal with. And tonight we're going to be dealing with the heat. I saw you had it's down to 85, which we do have some clouds trying to roll in, which will help cool things off a little quicker, hopefully. But it's still kind of muggy out there. We're still going to have the stoppages every quarter for water breaks. That's mandatory through the first 4 weeks of the season. And some officiating crews has even told coaches, if you need an extra break every now and then, if you see some kids getting overheated, we'll take a break and let them cool off a little bit. So safety is of the utmost importance as we get the season off and running. And, Jeremy, here we are again. It doesn't seem like football weather, but it usually never does this time of year. But it's kind of crazy how quickly everything's got started, and here we are, week number one.
Well, you and I were talking before the game. It's the first time we haven't opened the football season on a Friday night. Moved it to Saturday, probably a good decision. Originally 1 o'clock start time. Now they've moved it to 7. 85 degrees. It's the humidity that's going to be the issue tonight. But it's cooling off nicely, and as you stated, that cloud cover's very nice right now for not only the players but these fans out here.
They've even talked about the possibility of some sprinkles this evening. That is yet to be seen. Most of the rain today was over east of Highway 65 over in central Missouri. But you never know. The clouds are getting a little thicker, and with this humidity, you might see a little pop-up shower here and there. But there is a better chance of rain maybe towards overnight and into Sunday, and then the cooler weather comes in tomorrow, so we just missed it by a day, doggone it. Well, we need to jump into the Mercy Hospital pregame show. Mercy Hospital, where your life is their life's work, sponsoring the pregame show for the Wildcats again this year. And we'll get things rolling with the field condition report. It's brought to you by Security Insurance. Are you covered for the hazards of weather or losses unexpected? Call Security Insurance in Cassville at 847-8384. Well, we got some rain a couple of weeks ago, and that really helped the grass green up, not just on the football field, but all around the area. And then with this being Bermuda here at Wildcat Stadium, once it got hot again, it had the moisture in the ground, and it loves the hot weather. This field is in beautiful shape for the kickoff here tonight.
Outstanding shape. The heavy dews in the morning as well, and, of course, they keep the water on this field when they need to. But, yeah, the field looks great. You always like to look at the field before the first game because there's no wear and tear between the hash marks. It's coming, but tonight it looks great.
It really does, and the folks and the staff here at Cassville doing a great job getting the field ready to go. It's all striped and painted and beautiful green and mowed shorts. It's going to be a really fast track, and looking forward to the game here tonight. Again, the field condition report brought to you by Security Insurance of Cassville. Call 847-8384. We need to take a quick break. We'll let you hear from some of our sponsors. Be back with more of the Mercy Hospital pregame show right after this. You're listening to Wildcat Football here on the Talon Network. Back with you here at Cassville. We continue on with the Mercy Hospital pregame show. Mercy Hospital, where quality care matters. The Cassville Marching Band coming out onto the field. It's just about time for tonight's national anthem to be performed by them. This year's national anthem for Wildcat football broadcast is brought to you by the Rib Steakhouse. It's the area's go-to for the best steaks, barbecue, fish, chicken, and more. They're open Wednesday through Saturday, 3 to 9, with specials every night at the Rib Steakhouse in Cassville, bringing you the national anthem. We're going to step aside while the national anthem performed by the band, and we will continue on with the pregame after this break. But we need to take a quick timeout, let you hear from some more of our sponsors of tonight's broadcast. You're listening to Big 8 Conference Football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you here at Cassville. The Wildcats hosting the Hollister Tigers to kick off the 2023 season. We got a nice crowd gathering here. A few late arriving folks going to wait till the last minute to kind of avoid some of that heat. But like we said earlier, the clouds are starting to roll in, so that's helping us out a little bit with some of the heat from the sunshine that we were dealing with. And they're talking about maybe by halftime or so it might get down into the low 80s, so that would be nice. Maybe some of that cooler weather that's supposed to be here on Sunday is going to get here a little earlier. We'll hope that forecast holds true. We continue on with the Mercy Hospital pregame show, and now it's time for the Wildcat Keys to Victory. They are brought to you by Mark Whittemar and the crew at Wesco Home Furnishings in Cassville. They're looking forward to another great season of Wildcat football, and just like the quality portrayed by each Wildcat player on the field, Wesco offers that same quality merchandise and customer service. Well, you're going to hear there's some new names in the Cassville starting lineup, and we'll do that when we do the starting lineups here in a little bit here in the pregame. But one of the keys to victory is for the returning starters to be able to take over that leadership role, guide these new kids, and for these new kids step up because they're getting the opportunity to play now, and this is the time for them to shine.
Yeah, you hope as that you've seen some of that in practices. These coaches are looking for that those leadership roles in practice every day. It's different when the lights come on first game. There's going to be jitters. The Wildcats are young. They're going to be young in the trenches, and there's going to be some going to be a little young varsity player learning going on out here. So they're going to be. It's going to take them a little bit of time to get going, but I think they'll be okay as we move forward.
I know another key to victory tonight, too, and, of course, this seems like obvious, and it pretty much is throughout the season. You always want to score first, doesn't matter whether you're at home or on the road. But it'll be really important tonight against this Hollister club because they were senior dominated a year ago, and they lost a ton of players. They've only got 32 kids on their roster coming into the season, and the majority, almost a third of them, are freshmen. So scoring early on a team like that and not giving them any boost of confidence early in the season. Get them down early and make them play from behind.
Yeah, over half the team are 9th and 10th graders, well over half the team. So absolutely, they had to make the trip up here. Wildcats need to come out, set the tone early.
Again, tonight's Wildcat Keys to Victory brought to you by Mark and the gang at Wesco Home Furnishings. They invite you to stop by and view their wide selection of furniture, mattresses, appliances, all at West 8th Street in Cassville. You can also find them online at wescohome.com. Give them your best tackle, Wildcats, as they get ready to start the 2023 season. Well, both teams have retreated back to the locker rooms, but the tunnel is starting to form for the Cassville team as they get ready to come out of the field house here momentarily. So we'll continue on with the pregame. You look back at that game a year ago, we talked about Hollister was senior dominated, and they were really looking forward to the 2022 schedule, and it was quite the back and forth. Cassville struck first, then Hollister tied it. Cassville went back in front. Hollister tied it again. Then Hollister took the lead. Cassville scored late in the first half and had a 1-point advantage at halftime. And then Cassville scored early coming out of the locker room. They scored their first possession of the second half to take an 8-point lead. And then you had the big play. They got Hollister back in it at the end of the third. Cassville put the final points on the board. They had a great night running the football. Bodie Rose and Trey Wilson both over 100 yards a year ago. And that back-and-forth ball game, kind of a Old West-style shootout there, went the Cassville Wildcats' way, which is a great confidence booster for them coming in with the new quarterback a year ago, Bodie Rose, starting his sophomore year. But it kind of, all those seniors at Hollister kind of put a dent in their confidence because they go on and only win 4 games a year ago, and they were expected to win maybe 8 or 9, and they went 4-7 after that season-opening loss there at home.
Yeah, it really did. We were really surprised. You know, we made the trip down there and not really knowing what to expect other than the preseason hype. The Wildcats tough-fought victory on the road week 1. That was great. And you're right, Hollister. It was like, where did they go? Where did their seniors? It was almost like they said, well, we lose week 1. You know, we can't do what we really wanted to do. And 4 victories. There's no way on paper last year that was a 4-win football team. But these are high school kids, and you never know what you're going to get week to week, day to day with high schoolers. So, you know, new season. Basically two new football teams out here on the field.
And that's one thing because they had the talented quarterback with Kalovich and the great runner with Russell, and Russell had a great night against Cassville, but the only way they could score was on the big plays. They couldn't sustain stuff and keep the ball away from the Wildcats, and then when they would give it back to Cassville, Cassville was scoring. So it was just kind of back and forth all night long.
Yeah, week 1 shootout. It's exciting as fans, but the coaches, they don't like that too much. They like to have a chance to be over on the sideline with their respective units. And when quick scores are happening, they're right back out on the field. They don't feel like they've got a lot of time to go over what just happened. But who knows? We may end up in something like that here tonight.
And, of course, a win tonight is key as well, not only just to get the season started off right, but for the remainder of the season, because the next 2 weeks, Cassville is going to be on the road. They got to go to Aurora, and then they head down to Always Tough Seneca.
I tell you what, you look at the Wildcat schedule, and you look at this Big 8 conference, and especially the western half, which the Wildcats happen to be at, there are some exceptionally good football teams in the western half of the Big 8 conference this year. We talked about it before we came on the air. I think you could potentially take 2 teams out of the Big 8 West in 2 different classifications and potentially end up with state championships. I'm talking about the Lamar Tigers. They appear last night, their score, they appear to be right back where they have been. And I think
they lost their quarterback, but they got a ton of skill players back.
And I think the Seneca Indians are another one to watch. I think they're going to be exceptionally tough this year.
Yeah, they just kept a bunch of guys because they didn't lose a lot to graduation, and then they've got a couple of young running backs that they say may be better than Jackson Mars, so they're scary.
And then you look at Nevada. You look at a much improved McDonald County football team. I've been told that East Newton is much improved this year. So the western half of this Big 8 conference is brutal.
It really is, and of course it's a tough road to go, and we talk about it all the time. Last year, another Big 8 team making it to the state championship in Class 2 and Class 3. Lamar was there in the Class 2 title game. Reed Spring, and we always focus on Class 3 because Cassville's Class 3. That makes 14 out of the last 15 years a team from the Big 8 has made it to at least the semifinals, and 8 of the last 15 that a team from the Big 8 in Class 3 has made it to the championship game.
And that was a 14-7 game last year, Wildcats and the Reed Spring Wolves.
Well, the crowd continuing to gather, so we'll step aside one more time, continue on with the Mercy Hospital pregame show. We've got a few more things to take care of before we get ready for this opening kickoff tonight. Still about 7 or 8 minutes before we kick things off between the Wildcats and the Tigers. We appreciate you being with us here, whether on the radio, on the web, or watching the web TV on either a Cassville web TV or YouTube. We've got the live free streaming audio at radiotalon.com, so all kinds of ways to keep up to date with the high school football coverage, and in particular the Wildcats throughout the season here from the Talon Network. We'll step aside, be back with more. You're listening to Wildcat Football here on the Talon Sports Network. Tonight's game is not only a competitive contest between these two schools, it's also an educational experience for the students involved, because high school activities are about learning life's values. Your friends at the Talon Sports Network and the Missouri State High School Activities Association remind everyone to do their part in keeping their hometown sports a positive experience. When you attend your next game, do your part to help rekindle the spirit of citizenship by showing good sportsmanship. You'll be teaching a positive lesson, and you'll be preserving a proud tradition in the state of Missouri. Sportsmanship reminder brought to you by Access Family Care. They've got locations in Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin. We continue on with the Mercy Hospital pregame show, where your life is their life's work. Mercy Hospital. Going to run over the Cassville Wildcats starting lineup before we get to tonight's coin toss. Starting lineup brought to you by Fast Trip in Cassville. They're located right there on South Main. Great prices and friendly service is what you'll find at Fast Trip. Stop by today. We've got the quarterback, Bodie Rose. He is returning after a sophomore campaign that saw Rose throw for over 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. Bodie Rose also ran for over 600 yards and 5 touchdowns. He is a 5'10", 160-pound junior. Running backs for the Cassville Wildcats, a new guy. We talked about him in the second half of games last year. He would come in with the JV unit, and that is Colton Roark. So he now gets varsity playing time. He's a 5'10", 160 sophomore. The other running back, Bryson Jacobson. Jacobson ran for over 330 yards and 4 touchdowns a year ago. He is a 6'1", 185 senior. Wide receivers, Joseph Kraft, 5'9", 160 senior, and Garrett Ewing. He is a first-team all-conference performer a year ago, as Ewing hauled in 600-plus yards of passes for 5 touchdowns and was a first-team all-conference selection. He is a 5'6", 135 senior. Tight end, Cosmo Rose, 6'5", 215 senior. The offensive line for the Wildcats, Isaac Looney, 6', 230 sophomore, 5'9", 200 pounds, sophomore Gunnar Knight. Joseph Ryder, 5'10", 205 senior. Richard Phone, 6'1", 210 senior. And Ethan Sizemore, 6', 230 sophomore. On the defensive side for Cassville, at the ends, it'll be Joseph Ryder, 5'10", 205 senior, and Cosmo Rose, 6'5", 215 senior. The defensive tackle will be Ethan Sizemore, 6', 230 sophomore. 4 linebackers for Cassville, Isaac Pickett, 5'10", 185 junior. Hunter Morse, 5'9", 170 junior. Tristan Thompson, 5'9", 170 sophomore. And Joseph Kraft, 5'9", 160 senior. And the defensive backfield for the Wildcats, Riley James, 6', 150 sophomore. Colton Roark, 5'10", 160 sophomore. Bryson Jacobson, 6'1", 185 senior. And second-team all-conference performer a year ago at cornerback, Garrett Ewing, 5'6", 135 senior. Ewing made all-conference on both the offense and defensive side. The other all-conference performers from a year ago for Cassville all graduated. Trey Wilson, Keaton Schellenberger, Hernan Hernandez, and Peter Littlefield. Well, the captains this year for Cassville are meeting with head coach Clay Weldy and the officiating crew out at the middle of the field. And we've got Joseph Ryder, along with Bryson Jacobson, Bodie Rose, and Joseph Kraft. Those are the four captains getting ready for the coin toss. Tonight's coin toss brought to you by the Clark Center. They have offices in Berry, Lawrence, and Dade counties. Go to www.clarkmentalhealth.com to find the phone number for services in your area. Clark Community Mental Health Center, moving forward, improving lives and communities through compassion and care. Cassville in their all-black uniforms tonight with the gold numbers, the black helmets with the Wildcat logo. Hollister's in all-white uniforms, jerseys and pants. They've got the blue helmets and the blue numbers on the front and back. Hollister Tigers head coach Mike Johnson. He's been down there at Hollister for a while. And, of course, Clay Weldy starting his second year as head coach, but longtime offensive coordinator for the Cassville Wildcats. He's been here at Cassville for many years as an assistant, now his second year as head coach of the Wildcats. So Cassville, did they say they won?
Cassville won.
Cassville won, and they want the football. So just what we talked about.
Cassville deferred.
Oh, did they defer?
They
okay.
deferred. Yes, sir.
They did defer. So correction there. So Cassville has deferred.
Going to put the defense on the field first. You look at this Wildcat football team, they've got skill players. They've got several guys in that 5'9", 5'11", 150, 170 range that can get out and run a little bit. Not a lot of size that we can tell just yet on this Wildcat football team. We'll see how they look when they come up and get on that defensive line, offensive line, but just going through the roster, one of the smaller offensive lines that the Wildcats have put on the field. That's not always a bad thing. You can do a lot of things with quick offensive linemen, quick defensive linemen for sure.
Your Cassville Wildcat broadcast team is brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford Body Shop, offering direct repair for most insurance companies. Direct means that they are the insurance provider's trusted choice to complete your repairs. Les Jacobs Ford, junctions of Highway 76, 86, and 37 in Cassville. Find them online at lesjacobsfordcassville.com. Dropping back deep for the Tigers will be, and I love that they put their roster in groups of seniors, juniors, sophomores, and freshmen and not numerical order. So it's going to make it fun to look around and find guys. But Bryson Whitman, he's a sophomore return man. He'll be back there for Hollister at his own 5-yard line. And a new kicker with Littlefield, Peter Littlefield, that is, graduating. We've got Malachi Vincent. He is a senior, 6'1", 175. He'll be doing the kicking duties for the Wildcats as we get ready to start this one. He approaches. The ball is in the air, and the 2023 season is underway. It's a line drive knocked down by one of the up men. He scoops it up at the 25, brings it across the 30, and a big hit put on as he is dropped as the return man is, guess what? We've already got a mystery player. Nobody on the roster is wearing number 7. We do have a Wyatt Jones that hasn't been assigned a number, but no number 7 on our roster. So, well, the season's getting started off a day late, and we've already got mystery player number 1.
Well, number 24 and 14, Tristan Thompson and Bryson Jacobson on the tackle for the Wildcats. We've got that down.
So Hollister will start at their own 34, 1st and 10 Tigers, as they have the ball the first here tonight. Senry Mendoza is the quarterback. He is a sophomore, and he is up under center, hands off, and a sweep coming to the short side of the field. Cassville does a nice job getting to the ball carry and bringing him down right about the line of scrimmage as the first carry of the night goes to KK Conway. He is also a sophomore, and he picks up only about, well, they're not even going to give him a half a yard. It's going to be no gain and bring up 2nd down and 10.
Well, nice job that time. Joseph Kraft able to come up the field and force the running back to the Wildcat sideline on that short side of the field. Nowhere to go over there.
So 2nd and 10 from the Hollister 34, just underway here in the opening quarter. Season opener for the Wildcats and the Tigers here on this Saturday evening. Cassville showing a 4-man front. Somebody may have jumped Couldn't tell whether he was drawn off or not, but penalty flags come out, and we have our first flag of the night. And this one is going against Hollister, so the defense was drawn off, and that penalty against the Tigers, forced by the Cassville defense, is brought to you by Extreme Graphics and Window Tinting. They're located at 701 Mill Street. Window tinting, decals, wraps, and accessories, all at Extreme Graphics and Window Tinting.
Going to see some of that early in the season. Wildcats showed a lot of pre-snap movement right there along the defense. Thompson at that linebacker position, kind of faking the blitz there, might have caused one of those Hollister linemen to move a little bit.
So 5-yard penalty back to the 29, 2nd down and 16. Hollister looking to run. Mendoza wanted to hand off, and then he tried to pull it out of the belly of his running back, and he is swarmed under. It's going to be another loss on the play, all the way back close to the 30-yard line.
Wildcat defense getting after it right now, swarming to that football. Cosmo Rhodes, defensive end right there. Also Joseph Ryder from that defensive tackle position. Really nice job there in pursuit.
So 3rd down and 14 for Hollister early on here in the first quarter. Tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware. They're located at 186 Sale Barn Road in Cassville. For your project questions, call Michael's. Friendly folks, serious hardware. First 3rd down opportunity of the night for the Hollister Tigers. They send 3 receivers wide to the left, 1 wide to the right. 1 man in the backfield, and Mendoza rolling to his left, being pursued, gets away from the first pursuit, lobs it down the field, and throws behind the intended receiver, but a penalty flag comes out in the backfield of the Cassville Wildcats. The ball was thrown behind the intended receiver, but contact was made, and this one looks like it's going to go against the Wildcats.
Yeah, secondary safety for the Wildcats didn't get his head turned around on that football, and that you see that called a lot when the football's underthrown and the receiver has to stop and kind of come back to the ball. The defender's still running in pursuit. That's what we saw right there.
So they'll mark it off from the line of scrimmage, and it will bring it out to the 45-yard line, a big 15-yard penalty, and it gives Hollister their first down of the night.
Yeah, tough luck right there. Pretty good coverage. Just, again, the ball is underthrown, the receiver's hitting the brakes, and defender ran into it.
10:54 left to go here in the opening quarter. No score. Hollister 1st and 10 at their own 45. Man comes in motion from right side around to the left, and running the ball is Mendoza. Faked the handoff, and then he is hit hard, falls forward out to the 46 for a gain of only 1.
Hunter Moore stepping up, wrapped up the quarterback, brought him down with a vengeance right there. Wildcats playing some physical defense out here, and that's what the Wildcats have been known for. They're a physical bunch, and tonight they're really showing it.
Yeah, you got the linebackers really flying to the football, and that linebacking core, with the exception of Kraft, is a whole bunch of new guys back there.
Yep, and they're quick. They can move laterally, and we've seen them come downhill and make plays already early in this game.
So 2nd down and 9 from the 41 of the Tigers. Hollister again, twins out to the left. They got a back offset off the hip of Mendoza. Fake the handoff to him. He rolls to his left, throws underneath. The catch is made at the line of scrimmage. Receiver makes a man miss, breaks another tackle at the 50, makes another guy miss, and takes it all the way down close to the 35-yard line. A big run after the catch by Conway, as KK Conway hauls it in for a Tiger first down.
Nice little play call there, just getting Conway the ball in space and letting him make a move. Once he made the first tackler miss, he had some green out in front of him. Big play there on offense.
It's a gain of 18 yards and a first down for the Tigers at the Cassville 36. So the penalty has given the Tigers a little bit of life, and they're moving the football. Mendoza now wants the quarterback keeper, sidesteps the guy at the line of scrimmage, and tiptoes his way down close to the 30-yard line. Looks like they say his knee went down at the 31 for a gain of 5, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 5.
Mendoza and Conway making most of the noise early in this football game for the Hollister Tigers.
So 2nd and 5. They split the backfield this time. Cassville showing blitz. They run away from the blitz as Conway hit hard, falls across the 30 down to the 29, is able to pick up a couple of yards, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, nice job in there by Ryder. Also Jacobson in on the play.
So a penalty helped the Tigers out the last time they faced third down. This one's 3rd down and 3 at the Cassville 29. They go unbalanced right. One man in the backfield. Mendoza up under center. They bring Conway in motion, giving the ball, and he runs towards that unbalanced line, trying to make a cutback, and a great job out there in the open field along the sidelines, cutting inside the hash and making a tackle. And we're going to see where they spot this one, and he just does pick up enough yardage for the first down. It kind of got blocked there by the Cassville bench as they were along the sidelines as well, but he did move it down inside the 25 and picks up a first down.
Well, the Tigers got a nice seal on the edge there initially, which allowed the ball carrier to get around to that Wildcat sideline. Roark came up and upended him, just not quite soon enough.
All these guys we've been talking about so far for Hollister, all sophomores, but they're contributing early on, and they've got it 1st and 10 at the Cassville 24. Mendoza wanting to throw, man in his face, and the ball is batted away. Good job right there. Good pressure put on by Isaac Pickett as he took his offensive blocker all the way into the backfield and swatted that ball away.
Yeah, Pickett, a strong football player, that made a nice play right there, really blowing up any chance for Mendoza. Mendoza tried to jump, be athletic, and make a play, but Pickett right in his face.
So it's 2nd down and 10. From the Cassville 24. 7:49 left to go here in the opening quarter. Hollister has held the ball for a long time up to this point. Cassville defense trying to make a stop here. They hand the ball off to the man in motion, and that was Bryson Whitman. He had lined up in the slot, came through, and they gave him the football, and then he has hit hard at the 25-yard line, but we got a flag over on the far side of the field. And it is going to be a holding call against the Hollister Tigers. So it actually ended up being about a yard loss, but it's even going to be more than that after they mark off this 10-yard penalty. Penalty against the Tigers, again brought to you by Extreme Graphics and Window Tinting. If you want to make your ride cooler, head over to Extreme Graphics and Window Tinting, 701 Mill Street in Cassville.
Defensively on the last play, nice job by the corner. Garrett Ewing coming up and making a play on the ball carrier. Nice read, eyes in the backfield, coming in making a tackle.
So 2nd down and about 21 to go now for the Tigers. They fake the handoff to Conway, and there's a sack as Mendoza had Cassville defenders in his face as soon as he faked the handoff. And that Wildcat sack is brought to you by American National Insurance Agent Ashley Stump. They've got coverage options for your home, auto, farm, and life. Visit her at 110 West 7th in Cassville.
Great play call there defensively. Hunter Morse shot through that line of scrimmage, was able to wrap up Mendoza and bring him down. Big play defensively for the Wildcats. 3rd and very long.
It's a loss of 6 back to the 41-yard line. And the Tigers, after getting the ball all the way down to the Cassville 24, are now going the opposite direction. 6:56 left to play in the opening quarter. Man in motion is Whitman. Now they give on the end around. Here comes Conway with Mendoza, the quarterback, leading the way. Nice move by Conway. He takes on contact at the 40-yard line and dives down to the 35, and then we got a flag thrown in the backfield. Maybe another penalty way behind where the football was.
A big hit put on by the Wildcat defensive back. Colton Roark came up, open field. It's tough to get a big hit in the open and make an open field tackle, but big shot there by Roark to bring him down. And another holding call, which will be declined. It's going to bring up 4th down, but nice job. This Wildcat secondary coming up and getting involved in the running game.
So they spot the ball down at the 35-yard line after a gain of 6 for Conway. And it's going to bring up 4th and nearly 21 yards to go. So the Wildcats have forced a punt, and that forced punt brought to you by CS Bank. From cars to cows, they can handle your personal or commercial needs. CS Bank in Cassville. Jacobson, along with Garrett Ewan, dropping back deep. Mendoza is the punter for the Tigers, and this one bounces into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback.
Well, nice job for this Wildcat defense. They bent a little bit. They didn't break. They came up with some big plays when they needed it, forced the punt. Now they're going to get their first crack to bring the offense on the field to start this football season.
So Cassville will have the first offensive possession of the night with 6:37 left to go here in the opening quarter. And they will start at their own 20-yard line. Again, tonight's first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware. They'll give your to-do list a game plan that's sure to be a winner. Michael's Hardware. Friendly folks, serious hardware.
Well, you look down on the sideline, the Wildcat defense coming over, and we just talked about big hits. And when you're getting your headgear worked on and getting straps replaced, you know there's some popping going on out there. Colton Roark getting one of the snaps worked on his helmet right now during this little break. But Wildcats playing physical football out there, and that's a good sight to see.
So once they get things rolling here, they're taking a little extra time to see if Roark can get the helmet fixed before they have to think about making a substitution. We haven't had our first official water break, even though we are almost officially through the first, or midway through the first quarter. They usually try to do it about midway, and that may be why they're giving them a little extra time right now. I didn't see an official say anything and signal for it, but they did give that break between possessions there a little extra time to allow everyone to hydrate. So the Cassville offense now out on the field, and Roark's got the headgear ready to go. Or are they still working on it? Nope, they're still working on it. So we'll see. Right now they split the backfield behind Bodie Rose. They reset the tight end Rhodes around to the right side, and they're going to run the football that way. A nice cutback move as the ball carrier plows off the right guard straight ahead, and that was Kyle Bailey getting the chance with Roark getting his helmet worked on. And Bailey with a nice pickup out to the 26-yard line, a gain of 6, second down and 4.
Offensive line, nice push up front. I watched Ethan Sizemore, sophomore offensive lineman, take his man 6-7 yards down the field right there.
So second and short, split backfield behind Bodie Rose. And they give the ball right up the middle again, and that surge from the offensive line is just pushing Hollister backwards out across the 30-yard line, and that's good for a Wildcat first down all the way out to the 34. The Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in metal roofing. Look them up on Facebook or YouTube and request a free quote.
Yeah, power football right there, straight ahead. Again, Wildcat offensive line. You look at this defensive line of Hollister, massive. That nose tackle, I would venture to say 350 maybe. And this Wildcat offensive line moving them right off the football.
Bodie Rose now drops back out of the shotgun. They go unbalanced right, and they've got a receiver split out to the left, and they bring Ewing in motion, and they hand him the football. He's got blockers on the edge. He's across the 40, makes a cutback. He's at the 50. He's into Tiger territory, finally brought down around the 40-yard line of Hollister.
Great block on the edge by Kyle Bailey. Sprung the play. Nice run by Ewing, getting around that edge on the reverse. Kyle Bailey, the running back, out in there, got a block which led to the big play. Nice play call, great execution by this Wildcat offense.
A gain of 25 and a Wildcat first down at the 41-yard line of the Tigers. The Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. Their first in color selection. Check their gallery online at superiormetalsalesinc.com. Rose looking to throw for the first time tonight. He's got his big tight end, Rhodes, down at the 35-yard line, and he dives down to the 30. A nice gain on first down.
Yeah, good little play call right there, little play action sprint out to the right. Rose had some pressure right in his face, delivered the ball in a perfect position for Rhodes to make the catch. 6'5", 215-pound tight end. It's a nice target to be able to throw to there.
It's a gain of 8, and it'll bring up second down and 2. We're down to 5 minutes left to play here in the opening quarter. Still no score. Hollister held the ball for 5.5 minutes, had to punt it away, and now Cassville moving inside the Tiger 35-yard line. Second down and short. Bailey goes in motion. They give the ball to Jacobson. Big hole over the right side. He's got the first down as he rumbles his way down to the 25-yard line.
Jacobson straight ahead with the football, and we've seen him run the football, seems like for several years now as he's a senior. And for the last 3 years, we've watched him run the football, and he runs it hard every single time. That run was no exception.
Jacobson last year over 330 yards on the ground and 4 touchdowns. He picks up the first down on that carry. It's brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in custom ag buildings. Check them out on Facebook or YouTube, and then call for a free quote at 888-364-9527. Hollister showing blitz. Cassville first and 10 just inside the Tiger 25. Big hole around the left end, and the running back is tripped up. Lost the football, but it's probably the ground that knocked it out of the hands of Bryson Jacobson, and he is able to pick up nice yardage, a gain of 5 down to the 19.
Jacobson took a pretty good shot there, upended him. He looked like he was trying to let the block in front of him set up. He was maybe a little too patient on the run on that toss sweep. They're going to get some positive yardage on the play, but Nice play by the defender.
Inside 4 minutes now left to play here in the opening quarter. Still looking for our first points of the night. 2nd down and 5. Cassville with the ball at the Hollister 19-yard line. Twin receivers to the right. Bodie Rose checks to the sidelines. Checks things off at the line of scrimmage. Now he's back under center. And he fakes the handoff. No, he keeps it himself. He faked it to Bailey and took it around the left end into the end zone. Touchdown, Cassville. Great ball fake by Bodie Rose, and the speed of the Cassville quarterback simply outran the Tiger defense.
Yeah, nice check from the sideline over there. They saw what they wanted. Rose made the check at the line of scrimmage. They run the little inside option there. Ball fake. Rose turned right up behind him, and we see the great speed out of Bodie Rose as he runs all the way to the end zone.
In to kick the extra point, Ashton Wheeler. So Vincent is doing the kickoff duties. Wheeler will be doing the point after tries. Snap back, ball down. The kick is up. It is good, and the Wildcats break on top 7-0 here with 3:36 left to go in the opening quarter. The Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance. They're located on the square in Cassville and also in the Bridgeway Plaza in Shell Knob. Stop by and get a quote today. The Wildcat Extra Point brought to you by Berry Electric Co-op. Internet speed is spelled Gobeck. So a nice drive, 80 yards in only 7 plays. And Cassville jumps on top 7-0.
We talked about scoring first. Wildcats put the defense on the field first. They get a stop. They drive the football. Hey, you come out, first drive of the year, 80 yards, march it down the field, score on an explosive play at the end. You got to be feeling pretty good about it if you're on that Wildcat sideline right now.
Wildcats set to kick the ball away. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you as always by Baywash Car Wash in Cassville. Come try out the all-new IQ Soft Cloth Automatic. Features custom wash technology that gives you the perfect wash every time. At Baywash, a clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. So Malachi Vincent will tee it up at the 40-yard line, set to kick it away, and dropping back deep once again for the Tigers will be Bryson Whitman. KK Conway back there with Whitman. And also, we've got Robert Mora.
Just me, or the Wildcats look overall a little more athletic this year?
So far, you would expect that, or that's what you would think from that first drive there. There was a lot of quickness really on both sides of the football. Yes. When the defense was out there and then also when the offense was out there. A lot of explosiveness.
Linebackers, secondary, and then playmakers on the offensive side of the football. Really nice kick there by Vincent. 1 yard deep in the end zone.
So it'll be a touchback, and the Tigers will start at their own 20.
Going to have a water break now.
Here's the water break. So the officials stopping to allow everyone to hydrate a little bit. Sun is starting to set. The field is all in the shadows now, so that will help things a little bit, and hopefully the temperature will continue to go downhill as we play throughout the evening. Like we were talking earlier in the pregame, the really cool air isn't supposed to get here until tomorrow and into Monday, and we hope some of that will hang around until next Friday night.
Yeah, well, I'll take it. I saw something the other day. Somebody said, I can't wait until I can gripe about how cold it is outside. And this week I tended to agree with them a little bit. But one thing about football starting, that means the cooler weather is on its way. So little fun fact, Malachi Vincent, the kicker that just kicked the ball in the end zone, is the brother of former Wildcat kicker Drake Reese.
Ah, all right. Of course, Reese at Missouri Southern now, kicking for the Lions.
Did an outstanding job while he was a Cassville Wildcat, that's for sure.
1st and 10 Tigers. Cassville showing the blitz. Handoff goes to Conway, and he is hit. And now the ball comes loose. And a whistle sounded. Ooh. I mean, a split second before the ball came out.
Ethan Sizemore from that defensive tackle position. He's still fired up. Fired through the line of scrimmage. Got a hold of the ball carrier. And you're right. The ball carrier's still trying to fight, and they blow the whistle, and the ball comes out. Wow. Tigers catch a huge break right there.
Yeah, Sizemore hit him, and then one of the linebackers, and I couldn't tell which one it was, came in and hit him as he was still trying to fight for extra yardage. But the whistle, as Sizemore spun him around, the whistle sounded, and then that linebacker hit him, and the ball came free. So Hollister dodging a bullet right there. Mendoza hands the ball off and now going to try to trail to help out. A nice cutback move. A penalty flag comes out, though, as Bryson Whitman did a nice job trying to reverse his field and pick up some positive yardage, but we've got a flag way over on the Tigers sideline, and that one's in a bad spot if you're a Hollister fan because they've already been whistled for a couple of holding calls, and we may have another one going on right here.
Yep, you could see it happen over there. And
it's a face mask. Well, I guess that is technically kind of a hold.
Yeah, massive arms outstretched over on that side of the football field. Official right there on top of it. Immediately went to his pocket to throw that flag.
Flag was thrown at the 22, so it goes down as a gain for Whitman of 3 yards. And then the penalty will take it all the way back from the spot of the foul to the 16 looks like. So Mendoza takes the snap from the shotgun, trying to find some room around the short side, and he is hammered over there by Kyle Bailey. Another big hit being put on by this Cassville defense.
Tigers trying to run a little misdirection with the jet sweep. Mendoza keeps it and goes to the left side. Kyle Bailey right there as Mendoza tries to make a move. Bailey, great tackle, shoulder pads right in the solar plexus and brought him down. Nice job.
So it's a gain of only 3, back out to the 19-yard line for Mendoza. 3rd down and 11. Cassville with all 11 defenders up within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. They're just daring Hollister to throw the football, and they hand it off to Whitman, and he is buried behind the line of scrimmage all the way back at the 17. It's a loss of 2.
Kyle Bailey again shooting in like a bolt of lightning. Big shot in the backfield right there. Great play. And again, these Wildcats are bringing some heat tonight. They are hammering folks on the field.
So another forced punt, 4th down and 13. The forced punt brought to you by CS Bank. Go to csbank.com and view firsthand all the services they offer. Now a bad snap, and Mendoza's running for his life, and it's going to be a safety as he is back in the end zone. Tack 2 more points onto the scoreboard for the Wildcats.
8 Wildcats around him in the end zone right there. High snap, Mendoza not able to handle it. Tried to run to his right, running away, running for his life. The Wildcats tackle him in the end zone. Huge play in special teams right there. When your special team scores points, good things happen. And this Wildcat football team is on fire right now.
1:07 left to go here in the opening quarter. Cassville already leading 9-0 now after the 2 points from the safety added on, and now the Wildcats are going to get the ball on the free kick. First quarter tonight brought to you by Michael's Hardware. Let them quarterback your project with the right tools and supplies for the job. Michael's Hardware, friendly folks, serious hardware. So again, the officials not rushing things, allowing both teams to get a quick little drink on the change of possessions here. It will be the free kick that Hollister will be booting to the Cassville Wildcats. 9-0 Cassville late here in the opening quarter of play. Opening night 2023. Cassville playing on a Saturday for the first time, as far as I know, ever to open the season. And again, it's all because of the official shortage. Everyone's been pretty much told that they're going to have to play at least one time, either on a Thursday or Saturday, and the Wildcats getting that change out of the way right here in the season opener.
A little different atmosphere on a Saturday. It's kind of like those Friday night games when they don't have school on Friday.
It really would have been weird if we'd been playing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, like they said. Because the only time you do that at high school is when it's playoff time.
Right.
All right, the Tigers getting ready to boot it away. Robert Mora approaches, a squib kick down the middle of the field. Garrett Ewing picks it up back at his 32-yard line, and then he bobbled it. And actually, I correct myself, that was not Ewing, that was Roark that started to pick it up. And when he bobbled it, he kind of bent back down and gathered it back up, and when he did, his knee touched the ground.
Down to a knee, yeah. Better starting field position this time than last. And we'll see what this offense comes out with this round. Very great, good play calling last offensive series, great execution. We'll see what the offense can do this time.
So the Wildcats have it at their own 32, leading 9-0. Bodie Rose with the split backfield. Hollister showing blitz. One of the linebackers comes from the edge. Rose throws it up for grabs. Garrett Ewing trying to find it as he was over here one-on-one coverage on the sidelines. Was giving up some size there to the big defensive back, Jacob Fletcher. And the ball sailed over both of their heads, incomplete.
Now Rose would have liked to had just a little more time to throw the football there. Had a lot of pressure on him very quickly and just had to throw it up and hope that Ewing could make a play on the football. One-on-one coverage out there. He's done a good job of making plays. We saw last year several times.
Clock stopped, 58 seconds left to go in the first quarter with the incomplete pass. They send twin receivers out to the left. And Cassville runs it in a big hole and down the middle of the field, and there he goes. Kyle Bailey is gone. Takes it to the house, and the Wildcats add to their lead.
Right at the defense, right down the middle of the football field. Bailey broke one arm tackle. They tried to grab his jersey as he ran by. Huge hole opened up. Bailey took care of the rest, and it was off to the races. Nice speed right down the middle of the football field for 6.
68-yard touchdown run for Kyle Bailey. Second rushing touchdown of the night for the Wildcats. The Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance for auto, home, health, life, and commercial insurance. See the folks at Willis Insurance on the square in Cassville or in Shell Knob in the Bridgeway Plaza. Call 847-3300 in Cassville or 858-3747 in Shell Knob. And now we've got a timeout as we've got some personnel issues, maybe. Coach Weldy does not appear to be too happy. Of course, that's another thing you'll see first game of the season.
Yes, you do. And
everyone remembering what special team they're on.
I saw Coach Weldy call that timeout. He turned around, looked at his special teams coach, patted his chest. I'm sorry, Coach. That one's on me. So he's taking the heat for his guys, but you're going to see some of that week 1. You sure are.
15-0, Cassville on top. 49 seconds left to go in the opening quarter, and Wildcats now will get the proper crew out there to attempt this extra point. Once again, it'll be Ashton Wheeler. He was successful on his first PAT. And now looking for his second attempt of the night out of the hold of Garrett Ewing. Hollister back out onto the field as well. So Cassville not only getting points from the safety, but then they also get points from getting the football back. So it's a nice little 9-point swing. And the kick is on the way, and it is good. The extra point brought to you by Berry Electric Co-op. Do you suffer from buffering? Call Gobeck, Berry Electric Co-op in Cassville. Well, it took the Wildcats only 15 seconds to add another touchdown after getting the free kick following the safety. And it's 16-0 Wildcats late here in the opening quarter.
Well, great way to start the game. Great first quarter for this Wildcat football team, offensively, defensively, special teams getting points on the board. Wildcats bringing the total package early in this game. Now's the time you, as coaches, you got to coach a little bit, make sure they don't let up. You got to keep playing hard.
Your Wildcat broadcast team is brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford. Their service department has factory-trained and senior master certified technicians. They're friendly, affordable, your trusted choice for over 25 years. Les Jacobs Ford in Cassville. Malachi Vincent will tee it up at the 40. Hollister once again going to send Bryson Whitman back to receive. We've been talking a lot about the skill players for Hollister. A bunch of sophomores. It'll be interesting to see how many of their linemen are youngsters as well, with so many freshmen and sophomore on the varsity roster. Whitman's going to bring it out from inside the 5, and he is hit at the 20 and falls out to the 22. Had a decent return there, but the Cassville coverage unit was able to hold him from picking up a big gain.
Yeah, nice hit. Special teams there in coverage. Tristan Thompson flying down the football field, first man to the ball carrier.
We've still got 42 seconds left here in the first quarter. Hollister will have it at their own 23-yard line. Third possession of the night for the Tigers. Their first drive was their most successful. It was helped out by a penalty, but they were still moving the football. But then the last drive stalled quickly thanks to some good defensive play by the Wildcats. Now Cassville coming with a four-man rush and also a blitz from a linebacker. The handoff goes inside to a new ball carrier, and that is, as we scan the roster, Zach Honey. He is a junior, and he goes nowhere. No gain on the play, second down and 10.
Well, nice tackle right there. Joseph Ryder was able to just shed his block, wrap up the ball carrier, and bring him down right at the line of scrimmage.
Clock is running, 15 seconds left to go in the first, and it looks like Hollister is just going to let the clock expire and move on to the second quarter. And they're still in their huddle, so that's what they're going to do. There's about a 5-second difference between the game clock and the play clock. So that's going to do it for quarter number one here tonight in Cassville. Again, the first quarter brought to you by Michael's Hardware. They'll give you your to-do list, a game plan that's sure to be a winner. Michael's Hardware, friendly folks, serious hardware. We're going to step aside, be back with quarter number two. Cassville leading Hollister 16-0. You're listening to Wildcat Football here on the Talon Network. Sponsor. They're located just north of Cassville. They're on Highway 37. You can find them online at roarkdiesel.com or give them a call, 847-6560. 16-0, Cassville with the lead over Hollister as we start the second quarter. Senry Mendoza looking to throw the football, has to jump in the air to throw it over the top of a defensive lineman that was right in his face, and that was Ethan Sizemore once again. And the pass falls incomplete, and it'll bring up second down. Third down.
Third down. Fortunately for the Wildcats, a great play there, and defensive line pressure saves a lot of deficiencies in the back end of the defense. There was nobody out there with the receiver. Sizemore forced him to throw the ball early and short. Nice pressure there.
Hollister just 1 for 4 so far tonight on third down conversion tries, facing 3rd and 10 here. They've got twins right and left. Mendoza out of the shotgun, brings Conway in motion, fakes the handoff to him, launches one, but he overthrows everyone. In fact, the best opportunity for anyone to catch that was the Cassville defensive back, Colton Roark. Had his big tight end in the picture. That was Richardson, and also had a couple of receivers over there, and he overthrew everyone.
Roark had good spacing there, deeper than the deepest man, and you're right, he was the only one that would have had an opportunity. But it's going to force the Tigers to punt the football back to the Wildcats. Cassville should get great field position right here.
We were talking about all the new faces on Hollister's side. Noah Richardson, he's a senior. He is one of the few guys that I had on our stat sheets from a year ago. When you talk about the senior class leaving and taking everybody with them, they did.
Yeah, they depleted this football team. Sure, bad snap once again.
Yeah, bounced in front of Mendoza. He scoops it off the grass, trying to fight for extra yardage, and he may have picked up a first down. We're going to see where they spot him over here on the Cassville sideline. Wildcats say they got the football, but the whistle sounds, and they're spotting him over here.
Sure did.
And he did pick up enough yardage for the first down at the 36-yard line. We were kind of blocked once again by the Cassville bench, but great hustle by Mendoza. As a low snap, he scoops it off the grass. Cassville was coming with a big rush, so that had a lot of defenders already in the backfield, and once he got by them, he worked his way to the sideline and picked up a first down.
Yeah, big-time play right there. Low snap, high snap last time, low snap this time. And he just took it to the Wildcat sideline and outran everybody there. Paid the price at the end of the play, but Tigers retain possession.
A gain of 13. Conway goes in motion. They give the ball to Honey, and Honey is hit quickly by Tristan Thompson, but he's able to fall ahead, pick up a couple of yards out to the 38. That'll bring up 2nd down and 8. 11 minutes left to go here in the first half. Cassville leading 16-0. Mendoza gets the call in and now brings it back out to his teammates. Still has plenty of time on the play clock, only 10 seconds and counting on it. So they come up to the line of scrimmage, and now a timeout. Either the coach didn't like what was going on, or they were taking a little too long coming out of the huddle. So now Hollister has to use a timeout. They did not want to, and it stops the clock with 10:48 left to go here in quarter number 2. Cassville leading 16-0.
Yeah, they broke the huddle with about 6 seconds on that play clock, and they're going to go over and talk about it for a minute.
Again, tonight's second quarter brought to you by Roark Diesel. Since 2006, they've been providing a huge selection of diesel performance products to Cassville and the surrounding area. Call 847-6560. Drop by and see them just north of Cassville on Highway 37, or find them online at roarkdiesel.com. 2nd down and 8 facing the Tigers coming out of the timeout.
You talk about this weather. The temperature has certainly dropped somewhat, fairly comfortable, but that humidity, and again, you kind of look down on the field at this Wildcat football team versus the Hollister team, and you look at the size of some of these Hollister offensive linemen. This humidity has got to start getting to them at some point tonight. They've got some big boys over there.
Yeah, especially on that right side. The right guard and right tackle are huge compared to a lot of teams we see. And now we've got movement. And the first time we had someone jump, it was the offense of the Tigers drawing Cassville's defense off. This time I think someone got a little jumpy there and antsy, and it's going to be a 5-yard penalty encroachment against the defense.
Yeah, a couple defensive linemen trying to get a jump right there.
Moves it ahead to the 43 of the Tigers, so that turns a 2nd down and 8 into a 2nd down and 3 and makes things a little more manageable. Mendoza up under center. Conway goes in motion. They give the ball to Honey, and Honey is hammered right as he gets the handoff. He is able to get some push out to the 45-yard line and pick up a yard, maybe 2, but it's going to bring up another key play here. 3rd down and about a yard and a half to go.
Yeah, Ethan Sizemore also, once again, Tristan Thompson, linebacker. He's been involved in several defensive plays here early in this game.
So Hollister, 1 for 5 on 3rd down conversion tries. This one 3rd and short, though. We'll see if the sides of that offensive front can do anything against the Cassville front 4. Offset backfield, man goes in motion. They give the ball to Honey, and Honey leans and stretches, but I don't know.
That's going to be close.
His knee,
I think he's short.
Yeah, his knee came down just across the 45, and he needed to get out across the 46 to pick up the first down, and they spot him short of the 46. It's going to be 4th down.
Great job up front by this Wildcat defensive line. Great job.
So 9:39 left to go in the first half. Cassville with a 16-0 lead. Hollister facing 4th down and inches. And they're going to roll the dice, or at least try to make Cassville jump, which they've got them to do already in this series. So they bring everyone in tight. Cassville bringing everyone up on the line of scrimmage. Mendoza keeps the football, gets a surge, and picks up the first down. Well, the offensive line of the Tigers got it done there, as Mendoza goes all the way out to the 48-yard line. Gains 2, and it's a first down Tigers.
Yeah, big number 78 there for the Tigers. And again, this roster that they've given us is Jake Lebsock, massive human, just powered his way ahead. A quarterback just got in right behind him, picked it up.
So 9 minutes and counting left to go before halftime. The Wildcats leading the Tigers 16-0. 1st and 10 Hollister at their own 49-yard line. Mendoza brings a couple of slots in tight. He's got Honey all alone in the backfield. They give on the inside to Whitman. Whitman trying to get around a block from Conway, but there are all types of Wildcat defenders there to break up the play, and they drop him for a loss back at the 48.
Yeah, great pursuit there. Thompson once again, linebacker for the Wildcats. Also, Garrett Ewing from the secondary making a nice read, flow on the play, involved. He was able to get his hand on the ball carrier as well. So, great pursuit out of this Wildcat defense.
So 2nd down and 11. Twin receivers to the left. Mendoza from the shotgun this time. Fakes it to Honey, and here's pressure. Kraft in his face, and it's going to be a sack all the way back inside the 40. Joseph Kraft got to him first, and then Isaac Pickett came in to finish him off. 2nd sack of the night by the Wildcat defense, and that sack is brought to you by American National Insurance Agent Ashley Stump at 110 West 7th Street in Cassville. Let Ashley Stump protect you.
Kraft came from the backside, was able to get a hold of him. Pickett came around the front, put a pop on the quarterback to bring him down. And once again, just seeing some of the speed out of this Wildcat defense.
And that's a big loss all the way back to the 38.5-yard line, so a loss of 11, and it'll bring up 3rd down and 23. Mendoza rolling to his right, lets the ball fly. He's got a man open out near midfield. The catch is made by Richardson, but then he's tripped up. Looked like he had a seam maybe to go down the sidelines and pick up a 1st down, but good defense. Somebody knocked his legs out from underneath him, and he comes up just short, and I mean just short of the 1st down marker.
Yeah, got a pretty good spot there. Looked like his knee may have come down a little closer to that 44-yard line, but they gave him a pretty nice spot right there.
So it was a gain of 19 yards, and it's 4th down and a yard to go. Hollister lining up to go for it here at the Cassville 42-yard line, and it looked like they were going to try to draw again, and now a penalty flag is thrown. And just before the delay of game, Hollister got the timeout called. So again, they avoid a disaster there and stop the clock with 6.5 left to go before the break. Cassville leading 16-0. It'll give us a chance to check some of the scores from yesterday. Season got underway for everyone else in the Big 8. Seneca defeated Aurora 37-0. Mount Vernon came from behind in the 4th quarter and beat McDonald County. They were losing 13-7, but came back and won. The Mountaineers over the Mustangs 23-13. Nevada shut out Catholic 56-0. Reed Spring had a 33-7 lead before Monette scored 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns, but the Wolves hold on and beat the Cubs 33-28. Rogersville blanked East Newton 28-0, and Lamar blasted Marshfield 68-14. Those were the other Big 8 scores from last night.
Yeah, normally we're here trying to track down scores and get them relayed, but already happened. So I don't know. I won't get paid as much for tonight, I guess. So.
I guess you can find out what Clever and Central's doing.
All right, I'll work on that.
4th down and less than a yard. Mendoza gives the ball to Conway, and Conway's 2nd effort picks up a 1st down. He takes it down to the 39-yard line, gains nearly 3 yards, and the Tigers keep possession and move the chains, and that is the 2nd 4th down conversion tonight by Hollister.
The Wildcats have not had the ball in quite some time. Last time they had it, scored on a 68-yard run. Looked like they were going to get the football back. A bad snap and a great individual effort by the Tiger punter picked up a 1st down. So this Wildcat defense has been on the field a long time tonight.
Now this is the 14th play of this drive coming up for Hollister. They fake the handoff to Conway. Mendoza keeps it himself, spins off contact at the 35, keeps his legs underneath him, and tries to fight his way down close to the 30. He's going to be tripped up around the 32 after a pickup of 7 yards.
Nice little play there by Mendoza. Again, young player, sophomore. Appears to be pretty athletic out there.
Hollister kept the ball for 5.5 minutes their opening drive of the night before they had to punt. They've had the ball for 6.5 minutes this possession. 2nd down and 3 at the Cassville 32.5-yard line. Conway in motion. They pitch the ball to him. Makes a quick cutback and sidesteps the defender at the line of scrimmage. Takes it down to the 26-yard line for a gain of nearly 6 yards and picks up another Tiger first down.
Yeah, once again, move the chains. Working their way down the field, eating up that clock.
16-0 Cassville, but Tigers moving the football. 1st and 10 at the Wildcat 26. Again, tonight's second quarter brought to you by Roark Diesel. You can find them online, roarkdiesel.com, or give them a call, 847-6560. They specialize in diesel performance products. From the shotgun this time, Mendoza gives it off to Honey. Honey breaks a tackle in the backfield and takes it down to the 20-yard line. He was stopped dead to rights for about a half a yard loss, but fought his way through that initial contact and takes it to the 21 where they say his knee went down for a gain of 5.
Yeah, Wildcat defender in a great position to make a play. Honey was able to get a little forward lean and break out of that tackle and have a nice run on the play.
So it's a pickup of 5 yards, 2nd down and 5 with 5 minutes left to go in the first half. Cassville leading 16-0. Line of scrimmage just outside the Wildcat 21-yard line. Receiver comes wide to the left. Mendoza looked like he wanted to pitch it to Conway, but the defense of the Cassville Wildcats got to the quarterback of the Tigers quickly. He couldn't pitch it, so he tried to run it himself, and he goes nowhere, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, nice play over there. Hunter Morse, also Cosmo Rhodes on the edge. Good play.
So it'll bring up 3rd down and 5. Hollister just 1 for 8 tonight on 3rd downs, but they're 2 for 3 on 4th downs. Mendoza throws down the line of scrimmage, and the ball is off the fingertips of KK Conway, incomplete, but we've got a flag thrown back at the middle of the field.
We'll see what this is. KK.
Chop block against the Tigers.
Yeah.
That'll be a 15-yarder marked off against Hollister. And that penalty against the Tigers brought to you by Extreme Graphics and Window Tinting, 701 Mill Street in Cassville. Window tinting, decals, wraps, and accessories, all at Extreme Graphics and Window Tinting. Up, wasn't a 15-yarders, 10 back to the 31.
And once again, this Wildcat defense has the Tigers behind the chains, working this offense behind the chains. They need to get off the football field and get over here and get a breather themselves.
Yeah, because they've been out there for over 8 minutes. Hollister's had it the entire second quarter up to this point. We're down to under 4 minutes left to go before halftime. Mendoza rolling to his left, pressure coming from the backside, tries to cut back, now he unloads, and the receiver makes the catch at the 25, but is hit quickly by Roark and Jacobson, as the catch was made by Whitman, but it's going to be well short of the first down.
Yeah, good shot, good pursuit. Jacobson, Roark coming up from that secondary. 4th and looks like about 9 yards right here. Jamison, you're going way back now.
Way back. I almost said it once last year. I knew it was probably going to come out. There's too much similarity there in those two names. Got to make sure and get that B in there. Jacobson. And 4th down and 9, and now Hollister wants to talk things over. Stops the clock with 3:08 left to go in the first half. Well, if nothing else after that, it wasn't a long first quarter, but it wasn't a fast first quarter. The second quarter's going by in a hurry with Hollister running the football a lot and hanging on to it. We're down to 3:08 left to go before halftime. Cassville on top 16-0. Next week, the Wildcats will head out on the road for the first time in 2023. They head over to Kelly Field, take on the Hound Dogs. Aurora got shut out by Seneca last night down at Earl D. Campbell Stadium there in Seneca, Missouri.
On the turf.
On the turf,
on
yeah.
The
That's
turf. Seneca.
I mean, even when we went down there and saw it, I was still shocked.
Couldn't believe it, yeah. It's beautiful. It looks great. But I bet you it was hot on that turf last night. Because it'll keep radiating heat, but it's collected through the day.
Yeah, I mean, the game didn't kick off till 8, but I mean, they say that 30 to 45 minutes after the sun goes down, the sun's off of it, it's still pushing heat back out that it had soaked up all during the day.
Right.
And there's like a foot to 2.5, 3 foot level where that heat will kind of stay for a while too. So that's right down there where those linemen have to stick their faces into it all the time. Mendoza rolling to his right under pressure, lets one fly. He's got a man open down near the goal line, and a sliding catch made by Zach Honey down inside the 5 as Mendoza rolling to his right through the fade towards the pylon, but it was at the front pylon, not the back corner of the end zone, and Honey hauls it in for a 1st and goal for the Tigers.
A nice play call there on 4th and long. The sprint out to the right. Mendoza laid the ball up there nicely. Nice sliding catch at the end of the play by Honey. Nice route to create some separation.
Looks like they spot him down at the 3, so it was a gain of 22 yards. And now Mendoza takes it right up the middle behind the big center, and they signal touchdown Tigers. We've seen Mendoza do that a couple of times on short down situations, and they did it right there inside the 3. He just plowed ahead behind his big center and took it in for the score.
Well, they had the Wildcats on the field for most of this second quarter. The Wildcat defense, and Hollister converting a couple of times on 4th down, ultimately ending up in the end zone.
So Robert Mora, attempt the extra point. Not a good snap. He's in trouble. He's running, and the conversion attempt fails. So it will stay 6 points for the Tigers as they have trimmed the Wildcat lead to 10. 16-6, Cassville with the lead with 2.5 left to go here before halftime. And that, let's see, what do we got? Just a little over 10 minutes time of possession on that drive for the Tigers.
Wow, that is a long time to be on the field.
21 plays. 77 yards.
Two, 3 4th down conversions?
3.
Yeah, mercy.
And a final 3-yard plunge, 2.5-yard plunge by Sinri Mendoza, the quarterback for the Tigers, has got him on the scoreboard and taken away the shutout by the Cassville defense. Bodie Rose will drop back to await the kickoff by the Tigers. He'll be returning things for Cassville. Wildcats will have 2.5 minutes to go before the break to try to add to their lead.
And get the football coming out after halftime. Got an opportunity right here.
Robert Mora tees it up at the 40. No wind to speak of here. It's a very still evening. Ten of the 11 Wildcats all up at the 40 and 50. So Rose is back there all by himself. He fields it at the 15-yard line, brings it right up the middle of the field, and there's a big hole up the middle of the field. He takes it across the 35 and dives out across the 40. It was a good job by Mora, the kicker, to get downfield and get into the legs of Bodie Rose, or he may have been able to get more on that return.
There was nobody. Mora was the last one, was able to trip up Rose. If not, that's straight down the field, 6 points. Rose, explosive speed right there.
They spot him down at the 40-yard line. So a 25-yard return for Bodie Rose. It'll be 1st and 10 Cassville, and the officials calling for the mandatory water break again. So they will stop and allow the players to hydrate. Role models are more important than ever in today's society. You can serve as a role model for others the next time you display good sportsmanship at a high school athletic event. Good sports are winners that are also vital to preserving our fine sports traditions. Next time you attend a sporting event, remember to be a good sport and help rekindle the spirit of citizenship. This message brought to you by your friends at Talon Sports and Access Family Care. Locations in Cassville, Neosho, Aurora, Mount Vernon, and Joplin to take care of your medical needs. Well, a good return by Bodie Rose has Cassville with the opportunity to try and get some more points here before halftime. They lead 16-6, 2:31 left to go before the break.
Been a while since we've seen the Wildcat offense on the field. Here we go.
Twin receivers out to the left, split backfield behind Rose. And Rose fakes the handoff, going to run it himself, reverses to the right. and fights his way out to the 43-yard line, picks up 3 on first down.
A pretty good job up front by the Tigers there. And another flag is going to be a face mask against the Tigers. Want to help out the Wildcats a little bit right here. Not the big one, but 5-yard version.
It'll move it out to the 48-yard line. A penalty against the Tigers, brought to you by Extreme Graphics and Window Tinting at 701 Mill Street in Cassville. Make your ride cooler, head over to Extreme Graphics. Rose looking to throw. He's got the tight end Rose down the slot. And a good defensive play there. Coming over and knocking that ball loose was Whitman.
Yeah, really good play by Whitman. As Rhodes, big target, 6'5", running right down that hash. The ball's about a foot further downfield, you might be looking at 6 points for the Wildcats.
Yeah, because Rhodes had got the cornerback behind him. He had the inside position, but Whitman coming over from that safety position just got into the passing lane and knocked it away. So second down and short. Rose with a couple of blockers in front, turns the corner, has the first down. He's got more. He's into Tiger territory, still on his feet inside the 45 and takes it inside the 40. And the Wildcats pick up the first down. And there's a minute 57 now left to play here before halftime.
Play the Wildcats like to run is that quarterback sweep. Get Rose out there, let him run, and it follows those 2 running backs around the edge, and a nice big play there for the Wildcats.
It's a gain of 14. Roses has picked up 36 yards on 3 carries. First down for the Wildcats. The first down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in commercial and farm buildings. Call 888-364-9527. Rose this time keeps it, fakes it to Jacobson, and busts out of the pile. He's inside the 30, at the 20, at the 10, to the corner, to the pylon. He dives. Still no signal. There it is. Touchdown, Cassville.
Great job at the end of the run there. Rose able to stretch that football out right at the pylon, taking on contact into the end zone. Huge play there to score right before half. Actually, took the Wildcats less than a minute to score. The defense is over here on the sideline saying, well, come on, guys, we got to go right back out there. They'll take the points. But big-time play there by Rose. Nice ball fake around the right edge, and the race was on.
Malachi Vincent in to attempt the point after out of the hold of Garrett Ewing. Vincent says he's ready. Ewing calls for the ball. It's on the tee, it's in the air, and it's through the uprights. And the Wildcats extend their lead after the touchdown run by Bodie Rose, his second rushing touchdown of the night. Vincent with his 3rd point after. It's 23-6, Cassville. Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance. If you're at the lake, drop by and see the folks at Willis Insurance in Shell Knob in the Bridgeway Plaza. For all of your auto, home, health, life, and commercial insurance needs, call 858-3747. Wildcat Extra Point brought to you by Gobeck, Berry Electric Cooperative. Your business needs Gobeck. Give Berry Electric Cooperative a call. Well, only a minute taken off the clock. And they go 60 yards and punch it in. Final 38 there on the run by Bodie Rose. Did a really good job sealing the edge, the Cassville offensive line, and when Rose pulled it out of Jacobson's belly and popped it to the outside, he only had a cornerback over here to try to run by, and Rose showed his speed on that and run right by that corner. And the safety tried to make a valiant effort coming across, but Rose diving for the pylon broke the plane and got it in for the score.
Yeah, that was a tough play at the end of the run to reach that football out, and did a nice job of reaching it right at the pylon.
Wildcats now to kick it away. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. Custom wash technology gives you the perfect wash every time at Baywash Car Wash in Cassville. Vincent boots a line drive, and it's fielded back at the 10-yard line and brought out by the return man. And he'll take it all the way out to the 30-yard line. So a pretty nice return there for the Tigers, as they'll have a minute 27 now left to go. That's that old mystery man, number 7. Unfortunately, his name is not associated with number 7 on our roster, so he'll just have to remain our... We haven't had a mystery man for a while.
Now, occasionally one will pop up, but it's
Usually it's
rare.
in second half of lopsided games when second and third units are getting in and they don't have enough numbers for everybody and they don't put them on a roster. But
right.
every once in a while it happens in the first half, and that's what we've got tonight. 23-6, Cassville on top. Twin receivers to the right. The lone man comes way out wide to the left, and now they bring Conway in motion. They give him the football. He tries to pick up a lead block. He's across the 35. Quick burst of speed. Takes on contact, and he spins his way out to the 38-yard line.
He hit his own man as hard as anyone's been hit out there tonight. As the wide receiver's trying to block, and he just completely barreled right into his back, and that was pretty vicious right there.
A gain of 7, second down and 3. Conway in motion again. Again, he gets the football from Mendoza. Around the right end he goes. Waits for the block over there by Whitman, and that time Cassville's defense does a much better job stringing things out.
Yeah, good job stretching the play towards the Hollister sideline. Morse, I believe, 13 was the first man to bring him down.
It's a gain of only 1 to the 39. It'll bring up third down and about 2.5 yards to go. We're inside 30 seconds left to go before half. Mendoza from the shotgun, fakes the handoff this time to Whitman, looking to throw. Kraft is in his face and now being hit, gets away from one man, lets the ball fly. It's caught out at the 45 by Conway, and then Conway is dropped at the 46, and it picks up a first down. So a nice job by Mendoza making a couple of guys miss, kept the play alive, and completes the pass for a first down.
Yeah, there's some of that athleticism right there, and that'll just drive defensive coaches crazy. You've got defenders all over the quarterback, and he makes a couple of moves. He's able to get himself out of trouble, and as long as that play took, somebody's open, and it sure was right there for the first down.
And before Hollister can snap the football, the clock runs out, and we have reached halftime here at Cassville. As they head to the locker room, the Wildcats lead the Hollister Tigers 23-6. We're going to take a break. Be back with the Shoemaker Tire halftime show, run over the first half stats, and we've also got a special guest we're going to visit with at halftime as well. So all of that yet to come. 23-6, Cassville with the lead over Hollister. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Tala Network. Sammy Clapper with you back here at Cassville. We are at halftime. The Wildcats leading the Hollister Tigers 23-6 here at the break. Looking at some of the game stats through the first two quarters, Cassville ran the ball 10 times for 195 yards. They completed 1 of 3 passes for 8 yards for a total of 203 yards of offense. Wildcats picked up 6 first downs, did not turn the ball over. They were penalized twice for 20 yards and did not punt the football. Hollister, 28 rushes for 57 yards. They completed 5 of 10 passes for 61 yards. The Tigers racking up 108 yards of offense here in the first half. They picked up 9 first downs, no turnovers. Penalties, 5 for 35 yards against Hollister, and they punted once for 35 yards here in the first half. For the Tigers, they were led on the ground by K.K. Conway as he had 9 carries for 29 yards. Senry Mendoza, the quarterback for the Tigers, carried the ball 11 times for 18 yards and a touchdown. Conway also has 2 catches for 26 yards. Zach Honey has 1 catch for 22 yards, and Noah Richardson 1 catch for 17 yards. For the Cassville Wildcats, leading ball carrier Kyle Bailey. He and Bodie Rose both had some big runs here in the first half. Bailey, 3 carries, 82 yards and a touchdown. Bodie Rose, 4 carries, 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. Bryson Jacobson has 2 carries for 14 yards, and Garrett Ewing 1 carry for 25 yards. And there was 1 catch on the completion from Rose to his tight end, Cosmo Rhodes. So Bodie Rose to Cosmo Rhodes, and that was good for 8 yards. Cassville Marching Band entertaining the crowd here at halftime. Tonight's halftime brought to you by Shoemaker Tire. They're family-owned and operated. Shoemaker Tire, Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. Serving customers in southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas since 1961. You can find them online at shoemakertire.com. 23-6, Cassville with the lead over Hollister here at the break. We're going to step aside, then be back with more of the Shoemaker Tire halftime show. You're listening to Big 8 Conference football here on the Talon Network. Yes. Yeah, I've got a break going right now. So.
John Avery, Sammy Clapper.
Nice to meet you.
Me too,
So.
Been doing this a long time.
I'll start out. We'll just introduce you and
Way more comfortable than me. Yeah, okay.
talk a little bit about what you've done, and then we'll talk about your foundation and all what you're doing. So, that keeping you pretty busy?
Well, you know what? I've always got good practice with the longest family. You got enough kids.
That'll keep you busy right there, won't it?
Yes, sir, man. Yeah, everything's going so well.
Good.
I've had a lot of situations trying to bring leadership skills and basic football and all types of sports fundamentals.
Sammy Clapper back with you here at Cassville. We are at halftime. The Wildcats leading the Hollister Tigers 23-6. Tonight's halftime show brought to you as always by Shoemaker Tire, Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. Over 50 years of taking care of their customers like no one else. Call Shoemaker Tire at 417-271-3490. You can find them online at shoemakertire.com. Well, we got a special guest we're going to visit with here at halftime. He's here in the area, been working with a lot of student athletes and the youth throughout the area. And we're talking about John Avery. Now, he went to school and played football at the University of Mississippi. He's got over 20 years of experience guiding, mentoring, and developing student athletes. He played professional football in the NFL and CFL. We'll talk a little bit about that here in a minute. But first of all, John, appreciate your time, and thanks for coming by and visiting with us.
Thank you for having me. It's been absolutely amazing coming to such a community that is just accepting, and everybody's on cruise control. I love it, man. I love it. I said, I got to get that cruise control button everybody else has. I want that button. So if it's a button, give it to me. So I need it. I need it.
Well, as we said, you played college football at Mississippi, went on to the NFL. You were a first-round draft pick, had a very successful career in the NFL. You played a variety of professional levels, NFL, CFL, XFL, so you got to see a lot of different types of leagues.
Yeah, and I think the L is the most important part.
Right.
Most of those teams we lost. But anyway, I did have a good time, man. I did have a good time. You know, you learn a lot, especially to give back, right? You get an opportunity to give back. And I'm looking at this community as the one community I can give back to, and I teamed up with such an awesome partner, which is the YMCA, who is the leader of having community and teaching skills to kids and just sports fundamentals, everything like that. I'm teaming up with the YMCA, and we're going to get that new YMCA built. That's one of my goals, to get us that new YMCA and get these kids to have something to do. I see that in this town.
Right.
It's a gorgeous town, gorgeous people. Not a whole lot to do as a kid. So hopefully we're going to expand those options for them and keep them out of trouble. Because, kids, when we were growing up, we were always outside playing.
Right,
you know what I mean? I know how to throw a Frisbee. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? I haven't seen a Frisbee in so long, but I knew how to throw a Frisbee. And you come around and you don't see kids out on the grass anymore. It's one of the things that kind of hurts my heart that you don't see kids out doing things like that. So we're trying to get the old school teachings back to the kids, all right? Get the parents back involved. Get that understanding that your parents are your hero, and then we make the kids celebrities in their own community. So I can come and inspire them really well for like an hour, but they're around themselves all day long. They become the most influential part of their lives. So what we're trying to do is make sure we get these kids back to being policing themselves,
Right.
and becoming the stars of their community again.
Yeah, it is crazy because I know, like you were just talking, you were always with your friends playing outside. I mean, we had football fields in backyards. We had basketball courts in old barns and played in the winter. We set up little baseball fields in backyards and stuff, so we were always outside doing everything. But now the world of technology is kind of taken over with our youth.
Listen, they got to get back to the big mama. All right, big mama. I mean, with the house shoes and the big ankles, we got to get back to Big Mama. Now, when my mom used to call my name, I could be on the other side of the apartment complex, and all I could hear was the echo. If she called my name 3 times, I was in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay? So when I heard the echo, I knew number 2 was already on the way. And I was so afraid of my mother. She would say, be home before the streetlights come on. I was so terrified. If I got home and I saw the streetlights on, I tried to climb the pole and take the bulb out the streetlight so I'd be safe. You know what I mean?
Cover yourself.
Yeah, man. But we got to get back to our roots. We got to get back to our roots because the kids aren't afraid of anything anymore. And I think they at least have to have a certain degree of respect and understanding for their peers and the people that's trying to teach them better in life.
Well, you spent a lot of your time in the NFL playing for the Dolphins, the Broncos, and the Vikings, most of that with Miami, and held some records with them for quite a while. And now, like what you were just saying, giving back after you had successes as a professional athlete. You see that so many times nowadays, and it's something that's special. You guys you've had successes in your youth, and now you want to give that back to the youth of today.
I have to correct you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I didn't spend a lot of time in the NFL. I spent a lot of time running. Okay, I was 180 pounds. I was running. I wasn't there for a job. I was there to survive. Okay, I mean, but it's one of those things, man. All the stuff that I've learned, all the experience I've had, going to different countries.
Right.
Being in Canada taught me more about people than anything. It was like a utopia because when you get to Canada, you see how people should be treating one another. You see how, my kids are in Canada. All my kids speak 3 languages. You know what I mean? and I can't compete with them. You know what I mean? I say, well, I can speak English and I can write it. You know what I mean? But that's not that versatile to them, you know. So, but all those experiences have just taught me so much. And you know, we all have lives where we've made mistakes, but you got to keep score for yourself so you can teach the kids a better way. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm here to do.
Well, you started the Duma Foundation, and you go around to schools and communities, and you got empowerment programs. You do motivational speaking, and it's all to benefit youth, and especially kind of in the world of athletic youth and students. And this whole foundation is kind of geared towards that.
You know what? I teach kids very basic fundamentals of sports, but I tie it in to understanding the dangers of opioids, drugs and alcohol, and bullying. You know what I mean? That, like, those are the things that's captivating our youth right now. I mean, when I say captivating, they're amazed by it.
Right.
And they're attracted to it. I want to get them something else they're attracted to. I want to get them something else. You know, and I can't take credit for everything that you see before you because I know it looks amazing. I mean, I got to give a shout out to Carrie Longley. That's my advisor and my partner, man. She has been knocking it out of the ballpark. She puts words on there I can't even pronounce. And I still have to act like I know what's going on. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's where my acting comes in, right? I'm a great actor. I was like, yeah, I wrote that.
It's like, that's me.
Yeah, of course. I know what expeditiously is. Not really. You know, but you know what? I bring to the table a lot of comedy, which I do stand-up comedy. For a year, I opened for Carrot Top in Vegas. I've opened for Jamie Foxx. I've done lots of shows on. In Canada, it's Sunday Night Live, not Saturday Night Live.
Gotcha.
So there, I was able to do a lot of hosting with Colin Mockery. You know what I mean? From Whose Line Is It Anyway? I have I have my own TV show there. I'm a writer, and I plan on doing stuff with the fine arts community also here to do videos so kids can see their peers and see people just like them in some of these situations, and just keep knocking home the information. Keep knocking home the information. I don't care if they don't play football. I don't care if they hate football after they meet me. If they get the message, I've done my part.
Well, I know you've traveled around the country doing your camps and clinics and workshops. You've been here in the Southwest Missouri and Northwest Arkansas area for a while now. You're working with to get the YMCA thing going. What are some of the other things you've got going on?
Bro, I went to Benton, Arkansas and saw Walmart.
Oh, my gosh.
Listen, man, okay, check this out, right? Now, and this is kind of a sad story. When I got drafted to the Dolphins, I got $1.5 million before I even touched the field. I spent 1.4 at Walmart. It was gone. It was gone, so I had to go tell some jokes. I had to do a lot more running. That's what was going on, man. But like just being in this area, that I'm that close to Walmart, I feel at home.
Yeah, the headquarters right there.
Listen, I don't have any tattoos, but I'm thinking about getting like the Walton family on my chest, just somewhere. You know what I mean? But this community is so close knit. You know what I mean? And every time I meet somebody, even my man Jeremy right here, Jeremy let me grab his arms, and I was like fondling the man. He's a grown man, and I was touching him and rubbing him, and he was okay with it. You know what I mean? He didn't call the police or nothing.
Right.
It's crazy. So I've been having such a good time. But you know, being a part of the Longley family, you know what I mean? Like, I wake up every day thinking everybody the same color as me. It is amazing. You know what I'm saying? I'm just having a great time, man. And if you see, I'm already on 1,000. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'm like that every day. But they allow me to be on 1,000.
Well, and your high energy is contagious too, and especially working with kids.
I see. I ain't gonna lie. I can see his nipple through the shirt. You know what I mean? He's getting excited too. I know. I get the feeling.
Now, what do you got programs coming up? I know, like you said, you're working about to help get the YMCA. What other things you got going on while you're going to be around?
Oh, well, I'm coaching. What grade am I coaching? Sixth grade.
Okay.
I'm coaching sixth grade. Working. They got a great group of coaches over there. I just try to jump in and chime in and help motivate the kids and teach them certain little basic techniques that if I see something that might be doing wrong.
Right.
Because this game is all about techniques, and it's a game of inches. Right. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so what I try to do is eliminate those inches of negative outcomes. You know what I mean? That's what all technique is. That's all you do is trying to eliminate those inches of negative outcomes by teaching them technique. Because it's an inch away from a bad neck injury. It's
right.
An inch away, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's why it's so important. I do speed training also. So my speed training, that covers everybody. You know what I mean? Anybody, Jeremy saw me out in the middle of the street with the kids. I had them walking backwards, holding buckets of water and footballs and everything, just trying to work on certain fundamentals that's going to help strengthen their hips, their calves, and their core, the things they don't really get when they're playing certain sports.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was a track guy. My senior year, I was the fastest kid in the United States. Look it up. All right? I was the fastest kid in the United States, but it's the science that I understood that carried me. I went from running a 4.5, 4.40 to being a 4.27 at the combine on the old turf. Let me tell you about the old turf.
Yes.
The old turf was a carpet with concrete underneath it.
Yes.
And holy water. That's all they gave you.
Nasty stuff.
That's it. So if you didn't fall on the holy water, you got hurt. You had, but that's the old. I ran 4.27 on the old Indianapolis turf, and like the stuff they got now, man, it's unbelievably fast. It's unbelievably. I mean, everybody could be a gazelle in that stuff, but a lot of kids, see, even right now, as I'm looking at these kids do these drills, they don't take them serious. They don't understand that the development of their hips is why they do these drills.
Right.
I try to teach them the understanding of why all that's important. And the more they understand it, the more they can judge themselves as they train. So after a while, I don't want them to need me after a while. You know what I mean? I want to need them when I got to pay my bills. But I don't want them to want me after a while. I want them to be able to take it and keep going and keep getting stronger.
Teach them something that they can keep using.
But this is why I do what I do. Your kids are just important to me as mine. I want to touch as many kids as I can, so when my kids cross paths with your kids or any other kids, they're safe. They got somebody that has a understanding and a foundation that's going to point them in the right direction. And that's what we're trying to do. That's about it.
Well, unfortunately, we're running out of time. We got to get ready for the second half, but we appreciate you stopping by and visiting with us. If anyone wants to get in contact with you about the Duma Foundation or what you do with youth and student athletes, how do they do that?
You can call Carrie. Call Carrie Longley. Because most of the time I'll be out screaming. You know what I mean? I ain't going to answer phones. You call Carrie. I know the community knows who Carrie Longley is.
Right.
All right? Because if you ever meet Don, he's always in trouble. So the woman that's always hollering at Don, that's Carrie.
Call Carrie.
You call Carrie, and she'll get you everything you need. But I would have been able to recite the numbers and stuff for you, but she hasn't taught me that.
Okay.
Okay, so that's where I am, brother.
All right. Well, I appreciate you taking time to visit with us, letting us about what you do, and we wish you a lot of good luck.
Thank you, brother.
John Avery visiting with us here. The Cassville Wildcats getting ready to start the second half against Hollister. They're leading 23-6. Take a quick break and be back with the third quarter. Oh, you're Carrie. That's okay. Well, I saw him pointing, and I thought she's got to be here somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh my gosh, thank you for doing this. I really appreciate
How long is
it.
he going to be around? Does he know?
A while, I think. I told my daughter she might be giving up a room.
It's not like they got to call this week. He'll be around for a while working.
Yeah. He loves it. He loves it here.
So they'll have time to get a hold of you if they're interested.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
For a second, so the scout team thinks they just will stand around and I said, no. I said, we got to make it better. As a matter of fact, everybody has the ball. It's a leprechaun. Who want to get paid? Hit that leprechaun. You know what I'm saying? I do all kinds of stuff. But I'm nuts, man. I'm nuts, but I have a good time being nuts because kids appreciate it. Hey, I love you.
Back at Cassville, just about ready to get the third quarter underway. That's going to do it for tonight's halftime show. The Shoemaker halftime show coming to a close. Shoemaker Tire, people you can trust for tires. Visit them online at shoemakertire.com or drop by Highway 86 in Golden, Missouri. Give them a call, 271-3490. Wildcats leading 23-6 as we get set to start the second half. Cassville will be receiving the football to start the third quarter as Robert Mora teeing things up and getting ready to kick off for the Hollister Tigers. The lights have taken full effect now here at Wildcat Stadium, and the kick is in the air, and it's fielded by Jacobson back at his own 12-yard line. He brings it up the near side. He's out across the 30, breaks a tackle, and spins his way out to the 36, maybe the 37-yard line. So a nice return for Jacobson, and Cassville will have some good starting field position to start the second half.
Whew, I tell you what a halftime interview right there. I wish he had a little more energy.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he is able to keep that going from the time he gets up till the time he goes to bed, those kids are going to be tired that he's working with.
I'm tired just watching him, but what a guy. I mean, super positive, super friendly, just wants to help kids. People like that are a treasure.
Bodie Rose brings the Wildcats up to the line of scrimmage, split backfield behind him, and they hand the ball off to the first man through. That's Jacobson, and he powers his way out to about the 38-yard line, is able to pick up one, maybe two. Let's see where they spot it down at. Looks like they are going to put it at the 38, so it's only a gain of a yard, and it'll bring up second down and 9.
Well, we didn't get a chance to visit about it, but a really nice half of football in the first half for this Wildcat football team.
Rose under center, throws down the line, and the catch is made by Ewing, spins away from the cornerback and takes it out across the 40 to the 41-yard line. He's able to pick up about 3 yards, and it'll bring up third down.
Rose open to his left, threw it right down the line of scrimmage. Nice catch by Ewing, went down between the legs, caught it with his hands, was able to make a man miss and pick up some positive yardage right there. Get those guys the football in space and let them go to work.
Let's pick up a 3, first catch of the night for Garrett Ewing. First team all-conference receiver from a year ago. Cassville facing their first third down situation of the night. Third down and 5. Second third down situation. Bodie Rose will bring it around the end. He's got Jacobson leading the way, and he's got the first down. He's across the 45, across the 50, into Tiger territory, and sidesteps the defender, and it's knocked out of bounds just shy of the Tiger 45-yard line as the Wildcats move the chains.
Yeah, once again, great downfield blocking. This time Jacobson leading the way out there, was able to block his man. Good job by Rose reading the block, bouncing it to the Wildcat sideline. Good play.
Well, they do give him the 45, so a good spot there. It's a pickup of 14 yards. Bodie Rose now with 88 yards on only 5 carries and 2 touchdowns. Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company. They customize pallets. They also have new and used pallets. Give them a call. J&M Pallet Company, 847-6732. Twin receivers to the left this time for Bodie Rose. Split backfield behind him of Bailey and Jacobson. And they fake the handoff to Bailey, and there goes Rose. He breaks the tackle at the 40. It's a foot race. He's at the 30, at the 20, at the 15, and knocked out of bounds down at the 5-yard line as 2 Tiger defenders deny Rose his third touchdown of the night.
Yeah, another big run. Nice read on the play. They had the angle on him. He wasn't quite able to outrun it, but a great job there by Rose.
Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in custom ag buildings. Check them out on Facebook or YouTube and call 888-364-9527 for a free quote. He's pushed out of bounds at the 5-yard line, so it's a pickup of 40. That gives Rose over 120 yards on the night. First and goal, Cassville. Wildcats with a 23-6 lead, looking to add to that. Rose brings a man in motion, gives the ball to the second man, and he takes it in, breaks a tackle, and walks into the end zone. A nice run by Jacobson, barely touched by the defense. All he had to do was sidestep a guy at the 2, and he walks in for the score, his first touchdown of the night.
Jacobson took that handoff and was expecting some contact and almost looked surprised when he
it kind of, the whole thing went in slow motion. Yeah. It's like, wait a minute, where's everybody at?
Somebody's supposed to hit me here, but great job up front. If you're not getting touched through that line of scrimmage, those offensive linemen are doing a great job.
The extra point try is on the way, and it is good. So another extra point from Ashton Wheeler, his 4th of the night, and Cassville extending the lead to 30-6 now as they score on their opening drive of the second half.
A couple of big plays. Finished off by a 5-yard run by Jacobson. Huge hole opened up along that offensive line.
Cassville touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance. Established in 1887, they're one of the oldest businesses in the area. They're located on the square in Cassville, also in the Bridgeway Plaza in Shell Knob. Stop by Willis Insurance, your trusted choice insurance agent. The Wildcat Extra Point brought to you by Berry Electric Cooperative. Internet reliability is spelled GOBEC. Give Berry Electric Cooperative a call. Getting ready to kick the ball off, Malachi Vincent. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. A clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good. So Cassville already with nearly 200 yards rushing in the first half. And they just tacked on another 60 yards right there. Bryson Whitman back at his own 5, awaiting the kick of Malachi Vincent. Vincent gets a good leg into this one. It drives Whitman all the way back to the 3, and then he has the ball go through his hands and into the end zone for a touchback.
Nice kick once again by Vincent. Strong leg. More of a line drive kick. He gets that distance on it. That's a weapon.
Yeah, for as low as he kicks it, he's still kicking it all the way down consistently inside the 10 and a lot of times inside the 5.
Right.
So 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. The Tigers bring the ball out, their first offensive set of the second half. Henry Mendoza, the quarterback, operating from the pistol. And he hands the ball off to Zach Honey, and Honey is wrapped up right as he got the handoff, and then 3 more Cassville defenders come in to finish him off. And it's going to be a loss on the play. Honey's a little slow getting up. He got one of his legs twisted up underneath him. There's 3 Cassville players on top of him. It's a loss back to the 17, 3-yard loss, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 13.
Fighting for that extra yardage, and those Wildcat linebackers just looking to tee off on somebody. Honey got up. Looks like he may be coming off the field for a little breather. He took a pretty good shot at the end of that run for sure.
Play clock down to 6 as the backup running back receiver come in, and they're going to have to use a timeout. They could not get the players on the field in time after Honey had to leave, so Hollister has to use a timeout early here in the second half. 9:35 left to go in quarter number 3. Cassville leading 30-6. Tonight's game brought to you in part by MetaPlansPlus.com. Eric Seifert is your local trusted licensed insurance agent for MetaPlansPlus.com. Dental plus so much more, along with health insurance plans. Give Eric Seifert a call. Your Wildcat broadcast team brought to you by Les Jacobs Ford. They promise you a relaxed and professional atmosphere to trade your vehicle. They won't play games. They always keep their word, and there are never any hidden fees at Les Jacobs Ford in Cassville. They'll treat you like family. Drop by Les Jacobs Ford, 76, 86, and 37, Cassville, Missouri. Find them online at lesjacobsfordcassville.com. 2nd down and 13 facing the Tigers at their own 17-yard line. Cassville with a 30-6 lead early on here in quarter number 3. Whitman goes in motion. They hand the ball on a slant to the second man by Mendoza. And that was K.K. Conway, and Conway maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, or did he? Yeah, they just spot him shy of the 17, so he avoids a loss, but it's going to bring up 3rd and 13.
Yeah, again, just great pursuit by this Wildcat defense. All of them around the football at the end of the play.
Hollister just 1 of 9 on 3rd down conversion tries in the first half, although they were successful 3 out of the 4 times on 4th down.
The Wildcats had the Tigers behind the chains several times in the first half, and just Tigers being resilient held on to the football forever in that second quarter.
Mendoza has some time to throw, dumps it over the middle, and he underthrows the intended receiver. Whitman had turned in front of one of the linebackers, and Mendoza just short-armed him, and it's going to bring up 4th down.
Just a little gun shy, didn't step into the throw, threw it off his back foot there, and that's what happens when you get pressure like the Wildcats have gotten on him tonight.
So 4th and 13, they're going to punt this one inside their own 20. They've only punted the ball once tonight. And the 2 return men are out at midfield, so Cassville looking to get some good field position after this one. Snap was a little offline, but Mendoza gathered it in, punts it out to the 43. It's scooped up by Ewing back at the 48. He's trying to get to the Tiger sideline. Now he's going to reverse his field, and he's got a couple of blockers. Gets to the edge. He's at the 40, at the 35, at the 30. Still on his feet. Takes it down to the 27-yard line, maybe the 26. So a great job by Garrett Ewing. Looked like he was going to be bottled up over on the Tiger sideline, but brought it back around to the Cassville side of the field, and the Wildcats are inside the 30-yard line.
And there may be a flag on the play, and, yeah, when you
oh, it's way over there, too, on the other side of the hash.
When you have players making plays and reversing the field, a lot of times you'll see that as Players stopped, try to head the other direction. Looked like somebody might have reached out and grabbed a Tiger jersey, so I believe the Wildcats are going to lose a few yards here on the return, and they will.
Yeah, because they already lost almost 12 just off of the penalty being marked off from the spot of the flag. And then they lose another 10 yards, so it's going to take it all the way back almost to where Ewing fielded it at the 48. They're going to spot it down at the Hollister 45-yard line, but still Cassville with the ball inside Tiger territory.
And I believe they're going to get a water break now.
8:25 left to go here in quarter number 3. Tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company. They've got the motto, "In God We Trust." Remember, during the third quarters of your life, praise God whether you win or lose and give Him the victory. Phone Jeff for all your pallet needs at 847-6732. That's 847-6732. 30-6, Cassville with the lead over Hollister. The Wildcats, after this official stoppage for a little hydration, will have the ball at the Tiger 45-yard line. We've got Bodie Rose tonight for Cassville with a pair of rushing touchdowns. Bryson Jacobson has ran for a score. Kyle Bailey has also ran for a touchdown. Hey, we're under 80 degrees. Down to 79 now is what the weather station is saying.
Temperature's nice, the humidity, it's just where we are, where we live. The humidity.
Well, and the bad part was the week before, a week and a half ago, we just got tormented with those nice 80s and no humidity.
You're right.
And all the football players was practicing in beautiful weather, but you knew it was going to come back and bite them
with a vengeance
when we got to the regular season, and that's exactly what happened. Here comes Bailey with a full head of steam. He takes it off right tackle and flies down to the 35-yard line. Kyle Bailey, when he gets those legs turning, he can pick up a lot of ground in a hurry, and he got a lot of that penalty back as they move it down to the 36-yard line. It's a gain of 9. It'll bring up second down and 1.
You know, they list him at 155. He's not very tall. He's 5'8", but that 155 looks like it's all on his legs, his powerful legs, and really finishes his runs as well, too.
So second and short. Rose hands it off to Bailey. Little reverse there around to the left side. No, that's Ewing. Excuse me, correction. It wasn't 21, it was 11, and Ewing takes it all the way inside the 10, takes a big lick down there. They may spot him down just shy of the 10 as he got hammered but held onto the football. It looks like they're going to spot him just outside the 10-yard line. It'll be first down, Cassville.
Yeah, nifty play call there. Little misdirection and then end around to Ewing coming from right and around that left edge and then just weaving his way in and out of defenders. Working his way down the football field. Crazy run. Great run there by Ewing.
Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. Find them online at superiormetalsalesinc.com. They confused me. I thought they gave it to Bailey, but it was Ewing. And now Bailey gets the call and tries to power it straight ahead. Pushes forward down to about the 7-yard line. He's able to pick up 3 yards, maybe 4. That'll bring up second down and goal.
Wildcats taking their time. 30-6 lead here in the third quarter. No need to rush.
It was a gain of 3, second and goal from the 7, so they are saying it's and goal, so the nose of the football must have just been touching the 10-yard line after the carry by Garrett Ewing. He and Kraft go wide to the left, split backfield, Bailey and Jacobson behind Rose, and they're going to lead the way for Bodie Rose. Around the right end he goes, and into the end zone, touchdown Cassville.
Little quarterback sweep. Staple in this Wildcat offense. This time Rose able to get outside the edge and raced his way to the pylon. Nice blocking. Nice speed there by Rose to get in the end zone.
Bodie Rose with his third rushing touchdown of the night. Just took Cassville a couple of minutes to punch it in and add to their lead. 36-6 right now, and Ashton Wheeler in to attempt the point after. Garrett Ewing once again doing the holding. He calls for the ball. The kick is up, and it is good. Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance. For auto, home, health, life, and commercial insurance, see the folks at Willis Insurance. Stop by and get a quote today or call 847-3300. Wildcat Extra Point brought to you by Berry Electric Cooperative. Internet speed is spelled Gobeck. You suffer from buffering? Call Gobeck, Berry Electric Cooperative in Cassville. 37-6, Wildcats on top. 6:49 left to go here in quarter number 3. Third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company, where pallets are customized to fit your needs. Their motto is "In God We Trust." Jeff and avid Wildcat supporters, just a call away at 847-6732. Wildcats continue to have a very successful night running the football. Bodie Rose is already over 100 yards. Kyle Bailey closing in on the century mark. And momentarily, Malachi Vincent will be kicking the ball off for the Wildcats. He's been busy tonight with all the scoring. Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. They've got the Soft Cloth Automatic. It features custom wash technology that gives you the perfect wash every time. Baywash Car Wash in Cassville. Dropping back deep, Robert Mora, along with our mystery man, number 7. And Vincent boots this one right down the middle of the field, and number 7 hauls it in back at the 5-yard line, picks up a couple of blockers, starts right, goes back left, splits a tackle, keeps his feet. He's across the 20, out across the 30, down the sidelines he goes, out across the 40, and now we got a flag coming out way behind the play. So don't know what happened there. We'll have to see what the officiating crew decides. We got a little extracurricular activity going on over there at the Hollister sideline as well. But a big return for Hollister. Right now it's got the ball spotted out around the 50. Looks like at the 47-yard line, and personal foul that is, will go against Cassville. Someone may gave the return man a little extra shove after he was out of bounds. So they spotted him out of bounds at about the 47. They're going to tack on 15 more, and that will move the ball into Cassville territory at the Wildcat 38. That's where Hollister will take over.
Don't know exactly what the call is. Usually over on the sideline, it's something late, out of bounds, but those penalties sure hurt.
So 1st and 10 Tigers in Cassville territory. Mendoza hands it off right tackle, and the ball carrier runs into a wall of black shirts, and that was Zach Honey. And no gain on the play, 2nd down and 10.
Joseph Ryder, defensive line, also looked like Hunter Morse on the play. Those two have been involved in a lot of tackles tonight. I tell you what, something I don't do a very good job of trying to keep track of tackles because it's hard. But these Wildcats have done some tackling tonight, and they've had plenty of opportunity. The defense has been on the field lots of snaps tonight.
Yes, they have. 2nd down and 10. Conway in motion. Movement along the line of scrimmage, and the ball comes free.
Wildcats got the ball.
And Cassville has possession of the football. The center, I think, snapped it, and nobody else was ready because the center moved and nobody else moved. I think he snapped the football. He missed the snap count. He snapped the ball. Nobody was there, and the ball was picked up by Cassville. Our first turnover of the night, and it goes against the Tigers.
Yeah, just concentration right there is all that was. Again, early, but snap, ball hits the ground. Wildcats fall right on it. Everyone just kind of standing around wondering what the heck is going on, and next thing you know, Cassville's got the football back.
Well, that'll look interesting in the stat. In the official stat sheet, it'll go down as a fumble charged against the quarterback, but really it was a mishandling of the football by the center.
Yes.
But his quarterback's going to take the heat for it. So 1st and 10, Cassville, unbalanced right. Rose rolling that direction. Here comes pressure. He's able to elude the first man, but now he's got a couple of more he's going to try to get rid of. Takes on contact as he gets to the sidelines, and Bodie Rose, we were talking about his speed, showed a little bit of power right there as he lowered the helmet and shoulder pads and picked up an extra couple of yards.
Well, 37-6 could have easily picked up a yard or two and stepped out of bounds. Rose stayed in bounds, lowered the shoulder, took on the defender, and picked up an extra yard or two, and that's just competitiveness right there.
So 2nd down and long. Inside 5.5 left to play here in the third quarter. Cassville leading 37-6. They keep the backfield split, and Rose gives to the second man. Richardson tried to reach in and grab the ball away from Bailey, but Kyle Bailey holds on and takes it out to the 45 and picks up 4 yards.
Just off that right side, Bailey running hard, finishing the runs hard, being physical with the football.
So 3rd down and 2 now for Cassville. Wildcats have yet to convert on 3rd down. They've had so much success early in series and early in down counts because they've had 3 or 4 big plays tonight. It's picked up first downs for them and touchdowns. They give the ball to Jacobson, a big hole up the middle. He's got the first down. He's across midfield into Tiger territory down to the 43-yard line. The chains will move for the Wildcats. First down brought to you by Superior Metal. They're first in metal roofing. Look them up on Facebook or YouTube and then call for a free quote, 888-364-9527.
Yeah, great job up front there, the offensive line clearing the way. Jacobson again running the football extremely hard, but that offensive line up front really clearing the way. You don't rush for this many yards if they're not doing a great job.
12-yard gain, 1st and 10 Cassville at the Hollister 43. Clock continuing to roll, 4.5 left to go, 3rd quarter. Cassville leading 37-6. Bodie Rose gives it to Jacobson again. This time he makes a man miss in the backfield, takes it around the left end and picks up positive yardage down to the 35. It's a gain of nearly 8 yards. And offensive coordinators love those 2nd down and shorts, don't they?
Oh, yeah. Talk about open up your playbook. Now 37-6. We'll see, but yeah, you have success like that on 1st down. It just, yeah, the OCs, they're just licking their chops on 2nd and short.
2nd and 2, just outside the 35. Cassville with the clock their friend right now with the 31-point lead, taking plenty of time coming out of the huddle, trying to shorten the game on a hot, steamy night. Jacobson gets the call. Around the left end again. This time he gets to the sidelines, takes on the cornerback, and drives ahead for extra yardage and picks up another first down.
Yep, nice seal over there on the left edge. Jacobson able to make a move off one of the blocks to get to the Hollister sideline. After picking up the first down, again, the Wildcats moving the chains.
Wildcat first down brought to you by Superior Metal. Find them online at superiormetalsalesinc.com and find out what they can custom build for you. It's a gain of 8. 1st and 10 down to the 27. And even though, as we were talking, it has cooled down considerably, considering when we started and what the temperature was when we started, but any way you can shorten the game on a night like tonight and get out of here. Now they give the ball to Jacobson again. Starts up the middle, bounces to the outside, has a first down all the way down close to the 10-yard line. Another great run by Bryson Jacobson.
Yeah, really good job, and Rose really doing a nice job of reading that option right now. We've seen him have 2 or 3 big runs himself after pulling the ball out of Jacobson's belly, keeping it around the right edge. The last couple of times he's handed the football to Jacobson in this option game, Jacobson has found a seam, went back against the grain a little bit right there, and a nice big gain.
It's a gain of 18 yards down to the 9. 1st and goal, Cassville. 3.5 left to go in the quarter number 3. 37-6, the Wildcats with the lead. They give it to Jacobson again. He's been the workhorse on this drive. This time he takes it right up the gut and moves ahead to the 8, maybe the 7. Short yardage pickup as the defensive front of the Tigers bottled things up. Looks like they are only going to give him a yard to the 8, and it'll bring up 2nd and goal.
Yeah, big defensive line stood their ground right there. Didn't have much room for Jacobson to work with.
Ewing and Kraft go wide to the right. Bailey and Jacobson stay split in the backfield behind Bodie Rose. Tight end off to the right side for Cassville as well. Rose this time fakes to Jacobson, takes it around the end. He's at the 5, he's at the goal line, into the end zone, touchdown Cassville. Got a good block from Kraft and Ewing over here on the right side, and Bodie Rose takes it in for his 4th score of the night.
It's one of the things I've noticed tonight about these running backs and receivers for the Wildcats is their blocking on the edge and downfield. They've done a great job, which helps to spring those long plays that end up in touchdowns. Once again, great blocking. Rose, nice speed to work his way into the end zone.
Ashton Wheeler in for another point after attempt, and the kick is on the way, and he remains perfect on the night. Wheeler boots it through the uprights, and Cassville now leading 44-0 The Wildcat touchdown brought to you by Willis Insurance. Find them on the square in Cassville or in Shell Knob in the Bridgeway Plaza. Call 847-3300 in Cassville, 858-3747 in Shell Knob. Stop by and visit with the folks at Willis Insurance, your trusted choice insurance agent. An 8-play, 62-yard drive. Took 3 minutes off the clock, and Cassville leading 44-6 after the 8-yard touchdown run by Bodie Rose, his fourth of the night, to go along with rushing touchdowns from Jacobson and Bailey.
You know, one of the things we haven't talked about tonight, and as Wildcat fans, we take it for granted a little bit, is the kicking game of the Wheeler coming in, first varsity experience, perfect on his PATs tonight, and had several chances. Vincent out here kicking the ball deep into the end zone. 2 kickers, Wildcats utilizing 2 kickers in this classification of football. You're lucky if you have one. Wildcats are using 2 of them tonight.
Vincent tees it up again. The Wildcat kickoff brought to you by Baywash Car Wash. Clean car is a happy car, and that makes you feel good, and that's what you'll get at Baywash Car Wash. Vincent boots this one, got a little height under this one, and it takes the return man, Whitman, all the way back to the goal line, and it will sail into the end zone for a touchback. So Hollister takes over at their own 20 with 2:46 left to play here in the third quarter. Again, tonight's third quarter brought to you by J&M Pallet Company. During this game and the games to come, Jeff reminds his team members that through God all things are possible. At J&M Pallet Company, they repair used pallets, build and design new and custom pallets. Phone 847-6732.
Well, with that touchdown, the 35-second clock, mercy clock, is in effect.
So the clock will be running unless Hollister can get some points on the board. Henry Mendoza fakes the pitch, gives on the delayed handoff. They had Conway in motion, faked the pitch to him, and then Mendoza handed off. I believe that was Honey, as he got dinged the last possession. Slow getting up this time, but he appears to be okay, and it's a gain out to the 23, a pickup of 3 yards.
Yeah, Honey runs the ball hard, but you're right, he is taking some punishment out here tonight.
So 2nd down and 7 now for the Tigers. They stay double tight this time, split the backfield behind Mendoza. Mendoza gives the ball to Conway. KK Conway spins off first contact and fights his way out just short of the 30-yard line. They spot him down at about the 29. He's able to pick up 6, and it'll bring up 3rd and 1.
Mendoza is a nice-looking quarterback for the Tigers. KK Conway, explosive running back for the Tigers. They've got some young players to build around, especially the skill positions.
So 3rd and 1. Cassville bringing their linebackers up tight. Mendoza's been doing the bulk of the duty on these 3rd and shorts. This time he hands it off, though, and Conway busts a big hole around the right end and picks up the first down out to the 39-yard line.
Yeah, big hole over on the right side. Conway shot through there, brought down in the secondary.
Conway now with 45 yards on 12 carries after that 10-yard gain. Clock continuing to roll, inside a minute left here in the 3rd. Substitutions coming in for both Hollister and Cassville. They'll have to hurry as the Tigers quickly up to the line of scrimmage. Mendoza up under center this time. He bobbles the snap. He tries to follow the loose football. There's a scramble for it. Cassville says they got it. We still haven't seen an official signal yet, as they're trying to fight through the players and see who's got it on the bottom of the pile. And
like
they say Cassville football. 2nd fumble of the night on successive possessions for Hollister, and Cassville takes over at the Tiger 40-yard line.
Looked like sophomore Ethan Sizemore came out of the bottom of the pile with that football. May not have had it initially when the pile happened, but he had it at the end of the play, so Wildcats get the football.
That will be the final play of quarter number 3 as the clock expires, so they'll move to the other side of the 50, and we'll get ready for the 4th quarter as we head to the final 12 minutes. Cassville leading Hollister 44-6. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Sammy Clapper and Jeremy Marple back with you here at Cassville. We go to the fourth quarter. Tonight's fourth quarter brought to you by First State Bank. First State Bank came to Cassville over 26 years ago to help their friends and neighbors reach their financial goals. Cassville leading 44-6 as we start the fourth. The Wildcats with the ball at the Hollister 40-yard line. And we've got a new quarterback, and we've got a fumble between quarterback and running back. And the new quarterback is Andon Gottney, and he picks it up back at the 45. Pushes back to the 43, but it's still going to be a loss of about 3 yards, and we've got an injured Tiger, and it's a cramp, and that's the first one we've seen tonight, which is pretty good.
I was amazed. That's what I figured we would be seeing in this football game. Fourth quarter, it's about time. And yeah, it's just this humidity just takes the moisture out of your muscles, and well, I tell you what, that's no fun. And once they start, it generally doesn't stop. You just can't get enough water. It's too late, and it's just going to take some time for that to get over with. But you got all new offense. Looks like the Wildcats are running out on the field. Linemen, skill players, everybody's new.
Yeah, since we didn't have a game last night, I swung by and watched some of the Monette Reed spring game, and by halftime we already had about 3 kids with cramping issues. In the second half, it just got worse.
Oh, yeah.
And that was both teams, Monette and Reed Spring. They were dealing with it throughout the second half. So
well, the hydration didn't start this morning. It needed to start yesterday and maybe even Thursday, because once you're dehydrated, it's game over.
So second down and about 13 to go for the Wildcats, and another bobble of the snap as Andon Gottney right now is having some difficulty getting the ball from his center. He's able to fall on the football, though, and avoid a loss, and it'll bring up third down and 13.
Yeah, young guys getting an opportunity on, well, this is a Saturday night, but playing some varsity football. Could be some jitters. I mean, they're still going up against the big boys along that Hollister defensive line.
Yeah, because the Tigers are not relenting as of yet with the majority of the fourth quarter. They want to try to get the football back and get the clock back to normal operation. Right now we've got the running clock going on. We've got penalty flags thrown, though, prior to the snap of the football. So this will allow a few more seconds to tick off. The only thing that will stop the clock is a official or coach's timeout.
I think the play clock may have run out. Nope, false start. Legal procedure against the Wildcats there.
So that'll move it back to the 48-yard line. 5-yard penalty against Cassville. They're letting they haven't even started the play clock yet. Or did they?
Well, play clock hadn't started. Game clock.
The teams are all looking at each other right now, and the officials are kind of all looking at each other. I don't know whether they think the play clock is supposed to be running. Cassville's going to go ahead and run a play here on third down and 18 to go. The handoff goes into Chance Freed's arms, and he is spun down for no gain on the play, and it'll bring up fourth down.
Not much room to work with there for Freed. Bring up a fourth down here.
Now, the play clock may not have been running, but at least the game clock was, so that's helping shorten things up just a little bit.
Yeah, you wonder just how long that would have gone on.
Yeah. Well, Cassville's going to have to punt for the first time tonight, facing fourth down and about 17 to go.
They're going to have to call a timeout, too. I don't think they're at the sideline with 7 seconds.
We'll get to see Colton Roark, the punter. And they get the snap away just in time. Flag comes out, though. A high punt, bounces at the 18-yard line, and then Whitman tried to field it back there. And in amongst 3 Cassville players, I don't know what he was thinking there.
I don't either. That's dangerous. There is a penalty. Might be probably against the Wildcats. They had some people moving.
Yeah, I've got a false start against Cassville. So you would think Hollister would make them re-kick it, especially after right now the ball's all the way down inside the 10-yard line. After Bryson Witten, for some inexplicable reason, tried to field that ball with 3 Cassville players all around him. It's like, I know you don't want it bouncing and being downed inside the 5, but you better be pretty sure you're going to be able to control the football.
Yeah, he had to tip it to himself to try to field it too. That was, wow. We'll do this all over again.
So they'll back him up 5 more yards. And Roark will attempt to punt again. He got a pretty good leg into that first one. Let's see if he can repeat that performance. Whitman back there by himself once again at his own 20-yard line now. Good snap, pressure coming from the right side. The kick is away. Conway nearly got to it. And that time, Roark had to rush it a little bit. KK Conway bearing down on him, and it kind of deflected maybe off the side of his foot just a little bit. Goes over to the Cassville sidelines, and they say it went out of bounds at the 35. That's where Hollister will take over.
Wildcats trying to employ the little rugby-style punt. Worked the previous punt, but the Tigers brought pressure, not allowing that to happen. Roark trying to rush the punt, not get it blocked. Came off his foot kind of funny over here at the Wildcat sideline.
Only an 18-yard kick, no return. 1st and 10 Tigers at their own 35. Cassville leading 44-6, and we're under 7 minutes left to go here in the ball game. Hollister up to the line of scrimmage. Bring the slots in tight. KK Conway in motion. Mendoza wanted to hand off. Nobody was there, and now he's going to be dropped for a loss. I don't know whether Conway was supposed to make a quick cut off the quarterback. It looked like what Mendoza was thinking, and Conway kept going like he thought it was going to be a pitch.
Yeah, it looked like that's 58. That's Ricky Norris on the tackle. Really nice job fighting off that block, getting a hold of Mendoza and driving him into the turf.
So no gain on the play, 2nd down and 10. The ball's still at the Tiger 35. We're down to 6 minutes left to go.
Several new faces defensively for the Wildcats. Maybe all of them.
Twin receivers split out wide to the left this time. Mendoza from the shotgun gives it off to Conway. Conway hit at the 35, keeps his feet. Second effort gets him out to the 39 as he is able to pick up 4 yards.
Conway keeping those legs moving, churning, ripping out arm tackles. Wildcat defense finally able to bring him down.
Tonight's 4th quarter brought to you by First State Bank of Cassville. Convert an opportunity into a reality at First State Bank in Cassville. 3rd down and about 5 yards to go for the Tigers. Ball just shy of their 40-yard line. Continuing with the running clock, we're down to 5:20 left to play here in the 4th quarter. And we've got a stoppage with the play clock down to 3, and Hollister not getting everyone set yet. So another timeout used by the Tigers to keep from having a penalty called against them. Tigers were getting penalized quite a bit back in the first half, but here in the second half, most of the flags have been going against the Wildcats. So with the timeout, the clock is stopped with 5:20. Hollister has 1 timeout remaining, and the Tigers facing 3rd down and 5 at their own 40.
Well, week 1, we're 5 minutes and 20 seconds from week 1 being over for the Wildcats. Barring something miraculous, I believe the Wildcats will come out of this victorious and a pretty good showing week 1.
Offense has done very well. The defense, special teams, got a little contribution from everyone tonight. With a lot of new players and a lot of new faces getting full-time varsity experience, and so far things have been working well for the black and gold here this evening. On 3rd down and 5. Ball carrier is wrapped up and dropped. That was Whitman. And he is brought down right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, great job by that young bunch out there playing hard, trying to show these coaches something. And that's what you do. You get an opportunity, you play hard, you try to make something happen and get the coach's attention.
Mendoza and Conway's had a little success running the ball tonight for the Tigers, but poor Whitman and Honey, they've carried the ball 14 times for only 10 yards, and Honey's got 10 of those. It seems like they're getting more loss for yardage than they are positive yardage. Punting the football, Mendoza gets good leg into this one, bounces at the 29, skips away from the return man, and he has to dive in at the last minute and gather it back in, but Camden Beebe is able to secure the football and keep the possession with the Wildcats.
There is a flag. The Tigers were moving. We'll see if the Wildcats accept this penalty or they're going to decline it and take the football.
Because with 4 minutes left and a running clock, they're able to pick up just one first down. They can run out the clock here.
And official timeout here. We'll see what looks like maybe another water break.
Yeah, this might be our final water break of the night with 3:52 left to play here in the fourth quarter. Cassville next week goes on the road. They head over to Kelly Field in Aurora. It's been a while since we've had a game at Kelly Field with this rotation of the Big 8 East and the Big 8 West. It cycles around every 2 years, and Hound Dogs back in the rotation for Cassville last year and this year. And prior to that, Aurora was not in the crossover games with the Big 8 East, so it's been a while since Cassville's been over there to Kelly Field.
And that's okay from our perspective.
We'll have our own spot this time, though, on the east side of the field.
Okay, well.
But let's hope it's not hot like it was this week, because we'll be staring into the sun for a while. Maybe if it is hot, we'll get the 8 o'clock kickoff when the sun will already be down.
We plan our road trips, and we look at them depending on what time of year it is and how hot it's going to be when the game starts.
Yeah. Do we need to add an extra layer, or do we need to wear shorts? Cassville with the football, hands the ball straight up the middle. Quarterback Goutney. Trying to see who the ball carrier was there. Once again, it was Freed. And this time he gets some positive yardage. Picks up a couple of yards out to the 28-yard line.
3.5, under 3.5 minutes to go here. The running clock been going since the third quarter.
So 2nd down and 8 for Cassville. Play clock down to 10. Wildcats will let that run down to as close as possible before snapping the football. And they're going to run the option around to the right side. Quarterback Gottney keeps it himself, makes a cutback. Flags fly. He's got the first down, but this one's going to be coming back. So that's what they needed, was a first down to have the possibility of running out the clock, but 2 flags and a hold called against the Wildcats back at the 29-yard line.
Yep, you could see that coming, but a nice run by Gottney. Going to be brought back due to the holding penalty. Clock continuing to run. Officials can take their time here.
That's one thing with the penalties, you can keep the clock moving. It's kind of like free throws in basketball when you get to the 30-point rule. Just take your time at the free throw line. You can waste a lot of time off the clock shooting free throws.
You got 10 seconds.
You can kill it pretty quick. Well, it depends on how long the officials let them take lining up, too, sometimes.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I've seen, if it's a 2-shot foul, I've seen close to a minute get run off the clock just for 2 free throws if it's all worked out just right.
Right. When it's time, it's time. When it's over, it's over. Let's speed this up.
Of course, if it's the team that's losing shooting the free throws, they're standing at the line going, give me the ball, give me the ball. Just like Hollister, they're back up at the line of scrimmage going, come on, let's go. We want the football back. And now Cassville takes a knee. We're down to 1:40. The clock's still running, but it's 3rd down.
Right.
Although the play clock just got started at 30 seconds, so they're going to be able to run it down to a minute left before they have to snap it again. And then that'll be 4th down, but then
referee discretion on how soon they spot the football.
To see if Hollister is going to get the football one more time or not. I don't know. This will be interesting to see how this final 65 seconds plays out here. 3rd down in the bundle right now, and Gottney backs up, takes the knee again. 40 seconds put on the play clock, and we got 50 seconds on the game clock up. They started the play clock already.
Official.
So, well, it's only about 10 seconds differential. Cassville can run around just a little bit. And even if it is fourth down and it's turnover, by the time the Hollister gets their offense out, the game's going to be over. So.
The official grabbed the ball and immediately stuck it on the ground. He didn't even attempt to take a little extra time.
So Cassville can take an extra 10 seconds off here before they snap it, which will be about 20 seconds left in the game. Gautney takes it, backs up, takes a knee, and that should do it. Hollister would have to be the flash to get everybody out there and get a play ran before the time runs out, and they're just starting the handshakes already out there. So
nice win, week 1.
Final 10 seconds ticking off the scoreboard here at Wildcat Stadium. Cassville starts the year 1-0 with a 44-6 victory over the Hollister Tigers. They will be on the road for the next 2 weeks. First up, it's the Hound Dogs next Friday night at Kelly Field in Aurora. Wildcats win it over the Hollister Tigers. We're going to step aside, be back with the postgame show. You're listening to Big 8 Football here on the Talon Network. Back at Cassville, the Wildcats defeat the Hollister Tigers 44-6 with our visit with John Avery at halftime. We didn't get to go over the scoring summary, so we're going to let you know what happened tonight. As in the first quarter, Bodie Rose began the scoring for the Wildcats on a 19-yard run, and then it was Ashton Wheeler kicking the PAT, and the Wildcats were out to the early 7-0 lead. Kyle Bailey ran for 68 yards late in the first quarter. Wheeler another point after, and it was 16-0, Cassville on top. And that came after a safety, so they got points off of both the safety and then the possession with the big run by Bailey. Then Hollister was able to break through with 2:36 left to go in the first half, a 3-yard run by the quarterback, Senri Mendoza, but the PAT did not convert because of a bad snap. And then just a minute later, another touchdown by Bodie Rose from 38 yards out, and it was 23-6 at halftime, Cassville with the lead. The Wildcats struck early in the third quarter on a 5-yard run from Bryson Jacobson, and that was a 5-play, 63-yard drive. Then just 4 minutes later, a 7-yard run from Bodie Rose after a Hollister fumble, a 4-play, 45-yard drive that took only a couple of minutes. And then Cassville scored their third straight possession to start the second half. Another touchdown run from Bodie Rose, this one from 8 yards out, on an 8-play, 62-yard drive that covered only 3 minutes off the clock. 3 straight possessions, 3 straight touchdowns, 2 of those touchdowns coming after turnovers. And we always talk about if you get the opportunity and you get the turnover, you need to try to make it hurt, put points on the board. Cassville was able to do that. They got the running clock, which sped the game up on a hot and muggy night. It has cooled off some, not as bad as it was earlier in the week, but still, you want to get out and get out of here without any injuries. And we did see one player finally start to cramp a little bit in the second half, but for the most part, everyone was able to get out health-free, get the game over, and shorten that way, and the Cassville Wildcats start off the year with a victory.
Great way to start the season. You get contributions in all 3 phases of the game. Kicking game looks sharp. Special teams got a safety. Defense played well, very physical. Linebackers, secondary flying around. Defensive line did a great job tonight. Offensively, you're looking at some of these playmakers starting to form roles, and they're young up front, but those guys did a good job tonight. You don't rush for that many yards without your offensive line doing some work, and they did a good job tonight as well. A few little things here and there that I'm sure Coach Wilde, as a head coach, he's looking at everything, and there are things that he's not going to be happy about tonight that we probably didn't even see. But overall, he's got to be really happy to get a big victory at home week 1.
Well, we are already into the Post Electric post-game show, and we are going to continue on with that here from Wildcat Stadium. Post Electric, sales, service, or repair, new, residential, remodeling, commercial, industrial. Call them for all those services. Post Electric, 846-7100. You will find Post Electric's prices aren't shocking. All right, we're going to step aside, be back with more of the post game right after this. You're listening to Wildcat Football on the Talent Network. Back with you at Cassville. The Wildcats win at 44-6 over the Hollister Tigers. Start off the season 1-0. Next week they'll be over at Aurora taking on the Hound Dogs there at Kelly Field. Looking at the final stats for tonight's ball game, we will start with the Hollister Tigers. They end up rushing 37 times for 77 yards, so a nice job by the Cassville defense holding the Tigers under 100 yards rushing tonight. Hollister threw the ball 11 times, completed 5 of those for 71 yards, for a total of 148 yards of offense. Hollister picked up 11 first downs, turned it over twice on fumbles. They were penalized 5 times for 35 yards, and they punted 3 times for a 33-yard average. Cassville Wildcats, 32 rushes, 362 yards, 2 completions on 4 attempts for 11 yards, for a total of 373 yards of offense. Wildcats picked up 12 first downs, did not turn it over. They were penalized 7 times for 65 yards, and you were talking about things that Coach Weldy won't be happy with. That'll be 1. And they punted only once for 18 yards. Individual numbers for Hollister, they were led on the ground by K.K. Conway, 49 yards on 13 carries. The quarterback, Senri Mendoza, carried the ball 12 times for 18 yards and a touchdown. Conway also had a couple of catches for 26 yards. Cassville led by Bodie Rose, the Wildcat quarterback, unofficially 9 carries, 146 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Bryson Jacobson had 67 yards on 9 carries and a touchdown. Kyle Bailey, 98 yards on 6 carries and a touchdown. Cosmo Rhodes had 1 catch for 8 yards. Garrett Ewing carried the ball for 51 yards and also had a catch for 3 yards. Tonight's postgame show brought to you by Post Electric. If you need some light, if you're building a new home or remodeling, call Post Electric first. You'll be shocked at what they can do. Coach Weldy's making his way to the press box. We'll be visiting with him momentarily. The Wildcats with a big win here tonight to open the 2023 season and on the road for the next 2 weeks. And we'll be back to talk more here in the Post Electric postgame show. You're listening to Cassville Football here on the Talon Network. 44-6 over the Hollister Tigers. We continue with the Post Electric post-game show. Post Electric, if you're moving into a new storefront, if you've got power problems at the plant, if you're looking for remodeling or residential electrical work, top-notch electrical solutions don't have to be shocking. Call Post Electric at 846-7100. That's 846-7100. Now going to visit with the head coach of the Wildcats, Coach Clay Weldy. The post-game interview with Coach Weldy brought to you by the Law Office of John A. Leewright. They proudly support the Wildcats, and they want everyone to remember, if you don't talk, you may walk. And to call 417-847-2177. Well, Coach, last year the Wildcats started off the season with a victory at Hollister. This year you start off the season with a victory here at home over Hollister. Two very different ball games. Last year it was a shootout. Boy, each team just trading scores back and forth, back and forth. This year you got out to an early lead. Your defense set the tone early as well. They had that one long possession in the first half, but for the most part, you did a really good job defensively against them. Special teams contributed tonight as well, and you come away with a big win.
Yeah, I thought defensively, we got a new D coordinator, Jim Ginsler, and I thought he had a good plan tonight. Our kids were playing fast and flying around. We had a lot of tackles for loss tonight. We just had that one weird drive in the second quarter. It lasted forever. And besides that, though, we played really well, and I thought our kids, we just had some miscues mentally on some fourth down, third downs. But besides that, I thought the rest of the night defensively we played really well. And special teams, we got a safety in the first half. We just had one snafu on a punt return that a kid got loose. But other than that, we played really well all around. And Malachi Vincent came out, had some touchbacks for us as a kicker, and Ashton Wheeler and him both made some extra points. And so I thought that part of the game we played really well.
Well, the game started off, they held the ball. You talked about that long drive there in the second quarter that took 10 minutes off the clock. They also had it for 5.5 minutes, their first possession, but you were able to get them stopped, got the ball back, and then scored quickly. It was a 7-play, 80-yard drive. You scored in just a couple of minutes, and that got you out to that early lead. And Jeremy and I talked about that in the pregame. It was important to get out to an early lead against these guys because they're a bunch of young players, and you don't want to give them a lot of things to build on and get confidence going. And you guys got up on them early and were able to keep things rolling after that.
Yeah, they got a lot of young, skilled kids, and they're going to be good in the future. And they have several kids who can run pretty well. And I thought we played well defensively, but I was proud of how we played offensively. Our leaders are older guys, our juniors and seniors in the backfield, Bodie and Bryson Jacobson. And Kyle Bailey ran really hard tonight. Garrett Ewing had a good night. But to me, the story tonight was our O-line. I thought our O-line just played outstanding, and we have 4 new starters on the O-line. Joseph Ryder is the only guy who comes back, and we had Richard Fohn step up as a senior, had a good night tonight. And Garrett Knight and Ethan Sizemore and Isaac Looney that are 3 sophomores starting at their first start ever, and they played really well tonight. So I was really proud of how our O-line played.
Well, you look at the time of possession and the plays, and it was totally dominated by Hollister in the first half. They hold the ball for like 17 or 18 minutes to your 4 or 5, and they almost tripled the amount of plays, but still you're up at halftime. And then you come out and score your first 3 possessions of the second half, and that sealed away the win.
Yeah, we were offensively tonight. I think we scored, basically the time our ones were in the ball, and, we just were running our offense, and our kids were hitting the holes hard, and our line, as I mentioned, blocked really well. So I was really proud of us offensively, how efficient we were, especially with week 1. I was concerned with turnovers happening and dumb penalties, and that really didn't happen tonight. We took care of the ball, and we played really well.
Yeah, you could see it. You scored in a variety of different ways, too. You were talking about your line and the great job they did. They were opening some holes between the tackles, but when you did bounce it outside, your receivers were doing a great job blocking downfield, letting the guys get to the edge. A couple of those touchdown runs by Bodie Rose was because those receivers, were doing what they needed to be doing downfield.
Yeah, usually when you break long runs, you look back and go, well, a receiver made a block that sprung it. And I thought, we harp on it so much around here about how important receiver blocking is, and I thought our guys did a good job tonight with that. I thought our backs blocked well, too. I just thought, we were pretty efficient offensively. We got to make sure we keep that momentum throughout the season, but I was really proud of them.
Everybody that carried the ball had success. Ewing with 50 yards rushing, Jacobson with nearly 70 yards on the ground. Bailey had the big touchdown run, finished with just shy of 100 yards, and then Bodie Rose 4 touchdowns and nearly 150 yards on the ground. You rushed for over 360 yards tonight.
Well, that's when you have your line playing really well, those kind of things happen. We had multiple guys getting the ball, and it seemed like we run a variety of plays, and we were getting yards. So I was really proud of how we played up front, and that's what allowed these running backs, who were also running extremely hard tonight and getting extra yards. That was a big thing too. We're blocking well, but we had some guys that were getting the extra yard, grinding through, and we had some guys show some speed, like Kyle Bailey broke a long run. He went untouched, but he outran 2 guys. And, Bodie broke some runs and outran some people. So, we showed we have probably a little more speed than we had a year ago. Hopefully, that, is a thing that plays into our favor as the year goes on.
And it's always nice to be able to spread the ball around and have a lot of guys have success. But on a night like tonight when it's hot and humid, to be able to have that many different guys have the success, you can spread it around and keep guys fresh.
Yeah, I think another thing, we harped on all summer with our conditioning. We talked about all summer, hey, we're going to play on a Saturday. And at the time, we thought we were playing at 1 o'clock. So we kept saying, that's got to be an advantage to us. We're going to play in the heat. We got to be ready for it. So we ran a bunch of summer. I thought our conditioning paid off. We didn't have anybody cramp or anything tonight. We had quite a few guys that were going both ways. We had guys going in and out, and the guys that popped in did a good job. So that was a big thing I was worried about was conditioning, and it cooled off tonight. It wasn't as bad as what I thought it would be, so that helped out, but I thought our conditioning really paid off.
You talked about the new guys on the line that were doing such a great job and in the offense and defense, but 2 new guys on the special teams share the kicking duties, Malachi Valance and Ashton Kaler, and they both do great tonight as well.
Yeah, Ashton was with us last year and Malachi both, and we had Pete, and Pete did a good job kind of mentored them and showing the ropes of how to warm up and how we do stuff, and they've come through this year, and I told them both, hey, you're both going to kick tonight. You're both coming around, so they alternated on extra points a little bit. Malachi did most of the kickoff work, but I was really proud of they first time ever really getting out there, and they did a great job for us.
They really did. So a total team effort tonight to get points from special teams on the safety. You get all the touchdowns running the ball tonight. Didn't have to throw it a lot, but when you did, you were fairly successful. That kept everybody honest. Cosmo Rhodes, your big tight end, had a nice catch for you, so that's nice to be able to throw that little wrinkle at people as well.
Yeah, Cosmo came back to us this year, and he's a big force, and he had a good night on both sides of the ball for us, blocking and catching the ball, then defensively played really well. So, we're excited about his future as well.
Well, back-to-back weeks on the road now in 2 and 3. First up, the Hound Dogs over at Kelly Field. It's been a while since Cassville's been over at Kelly Field with the rotation of the Big 8 East and the Big 8 West. And then you have to go down to an always tough Seneca place. So Hound Dogs are up next. They are also a young football team with a lot of quality coming out of their backfield. They got a good young quarterback, and they get Prater and Hartwickson both back that were good running backs for them a year ago.
Yeah, I watched them play last night. I was really impressed with them defensively. They got big kids everywhere. Up front, they are massive. They got athletic kids. It's going to be a really tough task for us. We have to go there. They got a really talented junior class. It's kind of the bedrock, and their seniors are good players. So we know we got a tough task in front of us.
Well, Coach, we appreciate your time here in the postgame as always. Congratulations again on the victory. We'll see you next Friday over at Aurora.
Thanks, Sammy.
Head Coach Clay Weldy, you join us here for the postgame interview. It's brought to you by the Law Office of John A. Leewright. They proudly support the Wildcats, and their professional personnel believe in your rights to a fair hearing and representing you with the utmost expertise, integrity, and excellence. Phone the Law Office of John A. Leewright, 847-2177. We'll step aside, be back with more of the postgame right after this. Back with you here at Cassville. The Wildcats defeat the Hollister Tigers 44-6, improve to 1-0, and move on to week number 2 next week at Kelly Field in Aurora. We'll be coming to you live unless the hot weather suddenly sneaks back in on us where the game gets pushed back. But right now we're looking for a 7 o'clock kickoff. That means we'll be on the air a little before 6:30 here on KQMO and Cassville Web TV as the Hound Dogs and the Wildcats do battle next week. And that will be the final crossover game before they start divisional play. Now, they'll still have Springfield Catholic October the 6th, which will be the last crossover game with the Eastern Division for the season. But week number 3, they'll be at Seneca taking on the Indians, and that's when divisional play will begin. So, nice win tonight. You got a tough young Hound Dog team next week, and then it all rolls right into Big 8 West play in week number 3.
A good victory tonight. Young team across the field, young team on the Wildcat sideline tonight. Lots of new faces getting varsity starting experiences. This is a great game for that. They executed. They won big. Hopefully that'll lead to a good week of practice heading into their matchup with the Hound Dogs.
Nice balance tonight, like we talked with Coach Weldy. You got 4 guys doing the bulk of the ball carrying. All of them had success. 3 of them found the end zone. And when you can spread the ball around like that, it not only keeps defenses guessing, but like I was talking with Coach Weldy, it keeps fresh legs in there as well.
Well, it does, and you have weapons. You're not focusing. You're not having to game plan with one guy. You've got weapons. You got guys that can do things. So that's a luxury to be able to spread it around like that. And again, this offensive line, they're young, not much varsity experience. They came out and cleared the way for 360 plus yards tonight on the ground.
And then the defense, we talked about them throughout the first half and the outstanding job they did. They hold Hollister to less than 100 yards on the ground and less than 150 total offense.
The defense was impressive. They were flying to the football, which is what you want to see. And when they got there, it was with bad intentions. They were really coming out, playing physical, aggressive, really laying the leather on the Tiger ball carriers, and it was fun to see. You see some of the athleticism on this defense and how they can move sideline to sideline and get to the ball quickly. They did a great job tonight.
A big win here tonight to kick off the season. They had to wait an extra day. Of course, it wasn't because of the heat. It was because it was scheduled for Saturday, and we talked about that in the pregame. A lot of schools throughout Southwest Missouri are going to have to play on a Thursday or a Saturday. There's a couple of schools that are playing both Thursday and Saturday this year because of the official shortage. It's just something everyone's dealing with. Cassville said they would take theirs in week number 1, so everything should be Friday on out until you get into the postseason for the Wildcats, and hopefully they'll be playing at that time of the year as well. One thing we didn't talk about in the pregame, the districts came out yesterday, and the district that Cassville is in, kind of back to the old days as Seneca, Hollister, Mount Vernon, East Newton, who had all dropped to Class 2 last year, back up into Class 3, so they're all back in there with Cassville, Aurora, and Reed Spring.
Yeah, you look at all the districts throughout the state, and there's some wild stuff. You've got a district or two with 9 teams in it. I don't know how you.
Yeah, I still want to see how that's going to work.
Figure that out, but is what it is, and schools bouncing. They're riding that line of enrollment, and schools adding or dropping football. Things change every year, so. It'll be interesting to see as we move forward.
Yeah, it's a long time down the road, but just like this season opener snuck up on us quickly, district playoff, it seems like, will be here before you know it, too.
Well, I just, off the air, when athletic director stopped in, I said, well, week 1's over, and it's going to go real fast now. And just like, seems like we just got off the air in our last football game a year ago, we're doing it again right now. So it just speeds up every single year, and I don't know if that has anything to do with us getting older or
they say it does, but I don't know.
But it's just we're right back at it.
Well, that's going to wrap things up for tonight's post-game show, brought to you by Post Electric. If you're building a new home, maybe you're doing some remodeling, need some electrical work done, call Post Electric first. You'll be shocked at what they can do for you, and we appreciate them supporting area high school athletics. Also like to thank all the folks here at Cassville for the hospitality again. Athletic Director Lance Parnell and all of his staff and all the fine folks that help us out when we're here at home games, and we'll look forward to being back. It's going to be 3 weeks before we come back. Next 2 weeks are out on the road, but we thank them for all their courtesies. And thanks again to all of our sponsors for supporting our broadcast. We've got a lot of new sponsors mixed in with a lot of folks that's been with us for a long time. We thank them so very much for supporting all of our coverage of Cassville High School athletics, and you'll be hearing from them all throughout the season as well. I want to send out a thank you to all the staff and Janet and Dwayne for keeping an eye on things on game nights and all the folks that got the games sold and all the traffic. There's a lot of work that takes place before these games ever get on the airwaves. A lot of paperwork, a lot of sales being made, and we appreciate all of them for making things possible for us to do what we do. Appreciate you and Todd being back helping out again this year. It's crazy, but 1 week already in the books, and we're moving on to week number 2.
You know, thanks to John Avery coming up and visiting with you at halftime. I think if you could have given him your headset and just let him go the whole second half, I think he would have just talked about something the whole second half. Talk about a high-energy individual.
Yeah, they always talk about back several years ago, the Energizer bunnies that just go and go and go. Well, John's one of those guys. He can go and go and go.
And you said it when you talked to him. You know, these guys that have had professional careers and then they want to give back, something back, and that's sure seems like his goal. And seems like just meeting him a few days ago, just a genuine guy that really means well and wants to do well for the kids in the area.
Yeah, he's working with all youth throughout here, southwest Missouri and northwest Arkansas. He's working with Cassville right now, trying to get things going for the YMCA, and he does motivational speaking, and he really loves to work with the young kids, especially student athletes. So if you got any interest in visiting with him, get a hold of, is Kerry Longley he said get a hold of, right?
Yeah, and we can, we'll find out why. You know, it's pretty new. He's just kind of come in the area, and so he doesn't have everything set up just yet. But he had an opportunity and to come on and kind of talk to us or talk to you about what he wanted to do, and he sure thanks you for that.
All right, it's on to week number 2. Next week on the road at Aurora. We'll be coming to you from Kelly Field about 6:30 next Friday night as the Wildcats move on after a victory here this evening. Once again, our final score, Cassville defeats the Hollister Tigers 44-6. We thank you so very much for tuning in and joining us here this evening. We'll be back with you next Friday night. Speaking for Jeremy and Todd, this is Sammy Clapper saying thanks so much for tuning in and a good night from Wildcat Stadium.